Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tottenham Away, the best place to be on a Monday night if you're a football fan, especially if you support Tottenham Hotspur. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please like, subscribe, and follow the channel. Make sure you comment during tonight's show. If you're a regular, welcome back, people. How you doing? Make sure you like, subscribe, and as always, put your comments in the comment section as we go along. What can I say? Saturday, we bottled it in the mud. Same old Tottenham, miserable, depressing. And then yesterday, the other side of North London, bottled it, miserable, depressing for them. North London is a bottle job. There's so much to get into. Same old. Let's go.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
What's happening, people? It's Tottenham Away. We're live. We're rinse, repeat, recycle. What are we going to talk about tonight that we haven't spoken about before? JP, see you busting the purple and gold until we're sold.
I have it,
scarf.
man. I have it. I have my scarf. It's gonna be there at the weekend in the stadium, holding it like that. Across the road, holding it like that. Get out!
They gotta go, man. This is beyond. Do you know what? I'm struggling to do these shows. You know that watch along we did on Saturday. I struggled so much to do that. I was at half time. I just thought I just want to leave. I don't want to do this. But
Iggy kind of helped us. Iggy kind of helped us by killing the stream, and we should have just left it there.
Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen Iggy,
we should have listened to Iggy and just left it there. Iggy was doing us a favour, man.
He jumps on for 2 minutes to say, "Yeah, this is what I think of the starting lineup," and he just ends the stream. I'm like, Iggy's a bottle job. Iggy's a bottle job. Spurs are a bottle job. Arsenal's a bottle job. Lee, how you doing, man?
I told you all, I tried to save you. I tried to spare you 90 minutes of your life that you will never get back. But did you listen? No, you can't. You open up another stream, and not only did you enjoy yourself through that, another 150, however many people were there, went through it too. I tried to spare all 100.
Yeah. See, Iggy, you're not Daniel Levy, right? You don't blame everyone else, right? Look at yourself. Look in the mirror. It was you.
Accountability.
Daniel Levy tactics. Accountability.
I tried to help you, but it was no avail. What can I say?
Bless him.
Who's staring at a cup of tea?
Enjoying your cup of tea.
It's me. I'm making my cup of tea. How you doing, Lee? You been all right, mate?
Yeah, good. Another fun week in the live that is Tottenham Hotspur. And the drama.
That's the most miserable. Yeah.
It's the best. Honestly, it's better than Neighbours, Coronation Street. You could make a whole documentary out of it, couldn't you? It goes on at our place.
There's an idea.
Excellent.
Listen, before we begin, I just got to give a big birthday shout out to the one and only Tony Rodriguez. Big up, brother! I know it's your birthday today, so happy birthday from everyone at Tottenham Away to you.
Tony Rodriguez, big up, man!
Big up, Tony!
Happy birthday!
What are you doing to? Wait, is he on? Is in the comments?
What's he up to? Let's find out.
Hopefully,
Tony, what are you up to? I hope you're not watching Spurs.
Let's find out. Let's use in the comments.
Big
up, Eugene. How you doing? There he is straight away. Big up, guys. It's my
happy
birthday,
man.
And I'm here with you, Mongs. Leave you out. Hey, I tell you what, Tony, I got a birthday present for you, man. I got a birthday present for you. In fact, this is let's make this a birthday present for everyone, but mainly for Tony Rodriguez. From us to you, happy birthday, mate.
I'm upset. When I lose the small-sided games, I'm upset. Because that's the fucking standard. Because you come here and know you fucking lose. It's nowhere near, guys. It's fucking shit. I'm telling you. Shit.
Happy birthday, mate.
I swear at the start of that, I'm on
know-
that tube station. I'm like
Do you
right at
know-
the beginning there.
Oh yeah. Really?
Yeah, just play a game for 2 seconds. I'm like just the start of it.
What the
ball play.
The tube station one. Well,
Yeah.
Is that you there? Oh my lord!
You know what's funny about that Arteta clip? That as he walks off, right at the end, he trips over. That's what made it hilarious, man. If you watch it, right at the end, he trips over.
Yeah, I know. As he's walking out. Oh my god! Listen, Tony, big up, happy birthday,
Big
man.
up to the Gooners in the house, by the way. I know we have many watching. Big up to all the Gooners.
I want Rams and I want Stefan. I want you on the fan show this Wednesday. Don't hide. I want you on the show this Wednesday. Strivan, big up to you. I hope you're doing well, my man. We got Uzozum. How you doing? We got George. How you doing? We got Ariel. Can you go into seeing what we could do? The player every club was okay. I'll start that and I'll look into it after Ariel. Big up to the disabled team. How you doing? We've got Rob Ayres in the house. LA007. How you doing? David P. Big up. Jason, Michael, Emmanuel. There's Graham, who travels home and away every day. What a legend.
Big up, man.
Big up, guys.
Another legend, Wolves F1. How you doing? We've got Stephen House, Totspur. Big up, my man. We've got Ant. We've got Joe. We've got Ryan. Bottle jobs. JJ. We got Seb in the house. We've got Stuart in the house. We've got DJ Marcus Anthony. He's actually a nice gooner. He's a decent gooner, but he's in the mud. He is in the mud. Big up to Sophie. Jason, big up to you. Liverpool 2-0 up. Slow Jamrod, how you doing? We've also got Full Works. How you doing? Roy, how you doing, my man? How you doing? We've got Aran. We've got Elias. Big up Elias. We've got Daniel. We've got Rob. How you doing, Rob? I've been a Spurs from life. I'm so unhappy with the way. Oh, we all are, mate. Don't worry. Sammy, man, big up to you and the boys. Harrison and what was the other one called? The younger one. Remind me who the other one is, Sammy. I'll big him up as well. Big up to Eddie from Dubai. This sounds very much like bad losers. Let's focus on our own problems. Well, Eddie, we're going to get into both clubs' problems tonight. Don't worry about that. Purple and gold until we are sold.
I met Stuart last weekend.
Big up, Stuart. How you doing, my man?
Man United game.
We've got Simon. We've got Ron. How you doing, Ron? Big up to you. And we've also got Paul. How you doing, Paul? Guys, we've got 120 in the building. Smash a like, subscribe, and we will get cracker lacking. We've also got Language Angels. Evening to you, channel member. Big up. Right. I'm going to let you guys decide tonight where you want to start. We're either going to look at the bottle job side of London that is Woolwich or the bottle job side of London that is Spurs. Both are bottle jobs, in my opinion, and we're going to cover both of them. Where do you want to start? Spurs or Arsenal, guys?
Get a Woolwich out of the way.
Just get Arsenal out of the way.
All right. We're going to go on Arsenal. Okay. So there's a lot to talk about with this lot. Because I tell you what, they were giving it large to us for a long, long time when Poch was failing or not being backed and not winning trophies. And this year, well, let's get into it. So yesterday, Man City won 3-0, putting the pressure on Arsenal. Arsenal had to win against Brighton at home in order to keep the pressure on and take it to the last couple of games. They played the mighty Seagulls, who are in cracking form this season. There they are, the Seagulls. Look at them. We do like a bird because we've got a bird as our badge as well. And it all ended in tears. Poor Arteta crying. Pep drinking those tears of Arsenal fans. And the Gooners on Tinder looking for their perfect match. Second place. You bottle jobs. Absolute bottle jobs, man. They told us during the season, we've got bigger fish to fry. We don't need the Europa Cup, the FA Cup. It's a blessing in disguise we're at these competitions. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. These so-called big shots on the 1st of January were on 43 points. No Premier League team in history has failed to win the title from that point. They're currently 4 points behind Man City, and City have got a game in hand. Arsenal spent 247 days, top of the table. Man City, 14 days. Week 29, 8 points clear. Week 36, 4 points behind. And if Man City win their game in hand, that is a 15-point swing in 7 weeks of football. I don't want to hear we're not bottle jobs, right? There's the bottle. Bottled by Arsenal. So, my question to everyone tonight. Are they just up against the best team in world football? Are they unlucky? Or are they bottle jobs? And before you answer, I want to show you a clip of something I saw earlier on today, because there was an Arsenal fan on the show that I watched. He's saying, we're not bottle jobs. It's unfair to call us bottle jobs. And they said, so what did you do? We crumbled. Right? He said, we're not bottle jobs. We crumbled. And this happened. Listen carefully. This is what happened.
What's the difference between crumbling and bottling?
Bottling is like, bottling is, I don't know. Anyone else?
See, you can't.
Crumbling is different.
It's just a word that Arsenal fans, obviously Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV in particular, don't like, and I've used that with him on various videos.
Oh,
in the
is
last few
it?
Weeks. I've loved
is that what it is?
He doesn't like the word bottle. Ultimately, we're in a competition, and Arsenal fans would have loved to have won the Premier League. This isn't Leicester City. This isn't Wigan Athletic winning the FA Cup. This isn't a 1 in a million. It's meant to be the third biggest club in the country, and they led the Premier League title for 93% of the season. 93%. No other clubs ever led the Premier League as long. This Arsenal side were compared to Liverpool, Klopp's Liverpool, and obviously Guardiola's City. They're Kevin Keegan Newcastle. That's where Arsenal are. They're Kevin Keegan's Newcastle. They bottled it, and we saw the manager on the touchline, shouting at the ref. We saw the fans leaving in their droves. Absolutely embarrassing. They're Kevin Keegan's Newcastle.
All right, so
they're Kevin Keegan's Newcastle. Are they bottle jobs, or are they unlucky because City are that good and they lost William Saliba to injury? Guys, over to you.
Well, you got to look at where they've lost it, right? I mean, they've lost their points in positions and against teams they should have been winning. That's all I'm going to say. Simple as that. And if you can't beat the teams, that you should be beating, then you don't deserve to win it. Simple.
100% bottle jobs. 1,000% bottle jobs. Look, it's the business end of the season, right? And you've just got to get in that groove, and you've got to do what it takes. And literally, the last few games, they haven't done what's required. I mean, that, at the end of the day, who cares why or whatever? But literally, same thing happened last season. We were behind them. We came, we conquered. This season, same thing again. Business end of the season, City came and City are conquering. 92% of the league. You can lead it, mate. But you have to deal with it at the business end of the season. Same again.
Did they bottle it, JP, or was it a case of Pep Guardiola's experience? He's been here before. City have won the last, I think, 3 out of 4 league titles. Arsenal lost players like Jesus, who just come back. Saliba got injured. But then, I guess,
they knew
is that enough to lose?
Right?
Is that enough? Is that enough? Is that enough to draw 3-3 at home against Southampton, who are relegated now? Is it enough to be 2-0 up against West Ham away to then draw 2-2 and miss a penalty? Saka missed a penalty. Is it enough to capitulate against Brighton 3-0? Are these excuses enough to justify those games? Because I'm guessing Lee's thinking, no, it's not.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, as our friend Minerals, they ain't got the minerals for it. Simples. At the end of the day, they would have known what was required from them. I'm sure secretly they all counted how many wins they needed, how many points they needed. And that pressure to get those points on the board, it counts in every single game that they start. And they would have been feeling it, because you're right in a way, because you could say they've not been there before, but they have been there before last season and bottled it last season and done exactly the same thing again. But you're right in terms of where Pep and his team, they have managed to get over the line. They know what's required, and they do have a bit of a freak striker at the end of the day. But they've gone out and done what they needed to do to be able to be in this position to make sure that they cross the line, and they crossed the line well.
My Arsenal friend said to me today, you don't know what it's like going up against them toe-to-toe for the league title. You know, you try and beat Man City. I'm like, we did.
We have.
We did.
Frequently.
We beat them. And we're awful. We're an awful football team right now. So is it just about when people said, I remember when we said, oh, we've got the youngest team in Europe, we've got the best defense in Europe, we're exciting, the future looks bright, we play brilliant football, we entertain everyone, we're on the brink, we're progressing. All I ever heard was, your bottle jobs, you don't win nothing, you choke. Is this now not history repeating itself, but with Arsenal? Is this not the same shit for them? And therefore, if we're bottle jobs for that, they must be bottle jobs for what they've done now. Or are we being a bit harsh? Iggy, what's your take on it? And by the way, seeing as it's you, Iggy, I know Dietrich Kane has put this super chat in for you. Milan Tuna versus Spezia. Inter Forza Azzurri. I know he's trying to call you out, so there you go. Thanks for the super chat.
Thanks for the money, Dietrich.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming, Dietrich. Super chats welcome.
In regards to, let's get to the seriousness there, not that fool that is Dietrich.
Ouch.
The truth is, and I'll pay you the $2 back if you want, Dietrich, and I still call you a fool. In regards to Arsenal, the truth of the matter is this, all right? Man City was always going to come strong to the more into the business end of the season. They always come strong, always. And the fact of the matter is, they have two teams, 22, 23 players at their disposal, one better than the other. So at any point, they can rotate and not drop the levels. And the fact that they're on all three fronts, they're fighting on all three fronts, and potentially can end up with a treble easily.
Iggy, sorry, right? Iggy, sorry. Can I just interrupt you? David Clark, you've only because he's put in this really negative, just having a pop at us because he's come late. David, at the start of the show, I said we're going to discuss Arsenal being bottle jobs and Tottenham being bottle jobs. The title of this podcast is North London Bottle Jobs. Maybe you haven't read it. Maybe you've just jumped in. Maybe you're having an emotional downturn today. I don't know. We are going to discuss Tottenham and why we're fucking bottle jobs as well. But we said, who should we do first?
We will get
Arsenal
to Tottenham. Don't worry about that.
And we decided to go with Arsenal first.
We just said, do we start with Arsenal? Or do we start to
So this comment here, man, you're like...
And we decided to start with Arsenal, but we will get to Tottenham.
I wanted to address it.
So
we also have a lot of football fans, right?
Yeah,
we also have a lot of Arsenal fans.
We have a lot of Spurs fans in here, but
that's what David does. David just does that attack.
But we do have other fans. So look, bottom line is they got two teams at their disposal. They can field whichever 11 they want, and the level just doesn't drop. And we always knew that everybody knew that they would come at a time where they will come strong. What I feel personally that Arsenal didn't do right, and there's many things, of course, but the one thing for me that once they had a smell, like in January, that they could potentially go for the title, they didn't bring 2 or 3 more players that could actually strengthen their squad deeper and double down and say, go for the league. That's where I feel they went wrong. And I think it's ultimately cost them because every team in a season goes through a blip. And Arsenal didn't come in January, it didn't come in February, it didn't come March. Everyone thought, man, when's this blip going to happen for them? Because it happens to every team, every season at some point. Theirs, unfortunately, happened at the key moment, combined with the injuries of Saliba, which I thought was massive. And I think they suffered another injury in midfield, if I remember correctly. Was it Partey, perhaps? I feel that the one or two elements of their team, which is very important, I think those injuries have hit them hard. And when you combine that with a couple of negative results, and to me, it wasn't even a Liverpool away where they dropped a 2-0 lead and lost 2-2. I think it was, sorry, they drew 2-2. It was the West Ham one that was a bad one. And obviously after that, I think they'd Southampton, Man City away was the one that really hurt them bad. And obviously yesterday against Brighton. Those are 4 results all quite close together, which ultimately, combined with Man City smacking teams left, right, and centre, has completely turned the tide. So on that front, I think that's where yeah, but Zafa, Trossard, Jorginho, and Kiwo, man. We're talking Man City level, and that's those 3 players, however good they are, they're not gonna bring you the title. What I'm trying to get at is 2 or 3 top players to say, I'm talking top and a prime, ready to go and win you the league.
Zaffa's rattled. Zaffa's rattled because I tell you what.
Listen,
if they had won the league, Arteta's the best. This team's amazing. The opposite would be said. This is what would have happened. The opposite would have been said.
I actually thought Trossard would be good for them.
For me personally, there's time to banter, and I'm happy to banter them. It's no problem. I'm a Spurs fan after all. But here, right now, I'm talking football. That's where I feel that it is won and lost. And of course, man, you knew Man City were going to come strong. But it's happened in the worst way possible. You're right. They were top of the league, 93%. Another guy said 93% of the league campaign they've been top. So to drop now, it would hurt any fan, let alone it would hurt them. But yeah, that's the reality of it, man, and there's no getting away from it. But they didn't really reinforce themselves in a way that I thought they would when they thought, these guys can win the league. They didn't back them really. And of course, it's come to bite them. But having said that, in the grand scheme of things, all right, disappointment that they didn't bring the title home. But second in the league, behind Man City, Champions League football, they can reinvest this summer with the money that they get from it to add to the quality that they clearly have in the team and go again next season. I still think that once you get past all the banter, the piss taking, the disappointment of not winning the league when you've been up there for as long as you have, it's not been a terrible season, man, because there's a lot of pluses there, man. Like I said, Champions League football is back. They got a good thing going with the team, young team.
Yeah, but Iggy, the question is, did they bottle it, right? Because a lot of people.
Listen, there's no.
I don't care about Arsenal next season, how much money they might spend, whether they get Declan Rice or Casado.
That's me talking.
I don't care about what they might do in the Champions League.
You want to banter? We'll banter them. You want to banter them? We'll banter them. It's not a problem.
A serious question.
Yes, they bottled it because
that's the question.
Because there's no two. You cannot say they didn't choke. You can't say that. It's like if Spurs can choke, losing the league to Leicester City without ever being top. In fact, Arsenal were top that season when Leicester won it. Spurs never were. If Spurs are being called bottle jobs for losing that league to Leicester, then there's no way it would using that same method.
Narrative.
Using that, you cannot say that this isn't a bottle job either. You can't say what either this is not a bottle job, then that wasn't either. So that shouldn't be considered as such. Or we consider it, which is what we have done, Spurs bottling it, then this can't be used as non-bottle job. And it's probably the worst one because of the fact that they were there for all season long, only to drop second place in a crucial moment. So there's no getting away from that. There's no that part of it, there's no getting away with it. If they don't agree with it, then I'm sorry, man. But I'm saying I'm being honest with you guys. In the way I see Arsenal as a team and what's happened this season, and also the guy with it's about is choking at the final hurdle.
Mason and Harrison.
That's it.
Big up to Mason Harrison.
Don't worry, we'll get to Spurs as well. Don't worry, everyone. We're gonna get to Spurs.
We do that every week.
I've got plenty to say about Spurs as well. Don't worry.
Oh, there's loads. We're going to talk about Spurs today after what happened. But Lee, Arsenal fans trying to wriggle out of. We didn't bottle it. You can't say that. Are they just that hurt and it's just reality's kicked them that they fucked it when they actually had one of the best chances ever to win the league? Because Man City could finish, well, they're going to finish on the lowest points tally ever, winning a league title by their standards. So if ever there was a time, it was now. And that 2-2 draw away at West Ham, the 3-3 against Southampton, the 3-0 against Brighton yesterday, 2-0 up at Anfield, lucky to even walk away with the draw. At the end of the day, like Iggy said and JP, they choked when it mattered, right? They froze. They shut the bed. Are Arsenal fans just trying to hide their reality, or is there maybe an excuse to say, well, all right, maybe you didn't bottle it? Or is it something else?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you can look at it as some of the ways that Tottenham have done it in the past years and stuff. We always seem to struggle against the smaller teams, not the bigger teams. And some of the seasons we've had, you reflect back on those and you look at it and go, well, do you know what? If we'd just beat the Burnleys and we beat the, Nottingham Forest and all this kind of stuff, then we would be in the same position. And I think that they need to look at those games and say to themselves, we should have won these games. We didn't do enough, and we would be up there and probably head of City at this point. The thing you got to remember is don't worry about City. We shouldn't even be speaking about City. City do their thing, Arsenal do their thing. The only real where that comes into it is when they're playing head to head. And, anyone going up against City is going to be a tough task to beat them anyway. So all you can do is concentrate on your own games. And for me, they need to reflect on those games and say, well, look, against the West Hams, against that, we should have won these games. Even listen, even like yesterday, right? I was watching the game, and to be fair, Brighton were the better team. End of story. They were better. They wanted it more, etc. But if Arsenal wanted it that much, I couldn't understand why he took Odegaard off. He was the most creative player on the Arsenal team. Yet he decided to take him off, even though they needed the win. That to me is just a decision-making thing, and it really confused me as to why he did that. And maybe that comes into it. Maybe the decision-making in the important games is great, but when it comes to the smaller games like the West Hams and stuff, and you're going, this should be a win for us, and they come and surprise you. People just don't step up. That's my thing. It's got to hurt. Anyone that supports Arsenal it's going to hurt, right? It's at the end of the day, best chance you've got.
It would be likewise than it was like a few years ago, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It hurts. Of course, it hurts.
It's going to hurt.
We have to take all the shit.
All I heard was trust the process. Trust the process, right? 2-0 down. 2-0 down. This team that you've backed all season, this team that you've got behind, when they need you the most, right? Trust the process. This is what you did at 2-0 is like an emergency evacuation. The fire alarms have gone off at the Emirates.
Isn't that them getting ready for the parade?
Trust the process.
I think it was roadworks, JP. Apparently it's roadworks down the high road.
Yeah, that's it.
That's just disappointment. That's all it is.
That's a disgrace, Iggy. Stay there and say thank you for trying. Thank you for almost doing something we never expected.
Nearly getting up to City, pushing City, right?
I don't know, man.
That is a disgrace, man. Honestly,
it's not a good look. I agree with you that. It's not a good look.
You're being nice about it.
I would be.
To do that.
Yeah, it's gutting. Listen, I think in the
we were 2-0 down to Ajax. We stayed, man. We kept going to the last second.
Different, though. That's knockout football, though, isn't it? This is different.
This is a must-win game, though. It's a difference. It's a must-win game.
I know, but I just think that it sounds like I'm defending Arsenal. I'm not.
It really does. Maybe you're a gooner.
Listen, I agree with you guys. You should always stay to the end.
I'll take it back before you
I left
Iggy, you can't be talking about that, all right? You can't be talking about that.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It happens in a cold light of day. You should always stay in the end. But you know what? Football's emotion. Sometimes you just get caught up in it all. And it happened to me against Leeds at home. when we went 3-2 down. I left, and we ended up winning 4-3 in the last moments. That's the reality. But you should always stay. You're right. I think
But this
Arsenal.
was a good season for them, I'm being told.
I
This
agree.
was a
I agree.
brilliant
I
moment.
agree. Arsenal have not done anything.
Tottenham's Day and all that.
Arsenal Football Club this season have not done anything to deserve the fans walking out in the way they did against Brighton. I'm sorry. You guys are right when you say that. They should never have left because they haven't given them. It wasn't like they've been disgraceful all season long, like we have, I have to say. And we'll get to Tottenham. We've given them many opportunities for fans to walk out this season with their performances. Arsenal haven't. So that's the grand. But you know, it is what it is,
And
man. What can you do?
especially where they've the last few seasons have been whatever they have, 8th and 7th and things like that. You go this season, and I also felt, and I've got a couple of Arsenal friends who were like saying that the atmosphere at that place, kind of like this year, has been totally different to the last few years that they've been there. Obviously, position helps, right? And the
football's
fact
been
that
good
they're
as
playing
well.
quite
Been entertaining,
playing,
right?
That's what I'm saying.
playing exciting football and stuff like that. So,
But you know what? Yesterday would have hurt, man. That would have been the reality that the season was done. They just witnessed Man City smack Everton an hour or two before. Then they lose at home 3-0 when their rivals have just won 3-0 away at Goodison Park. Listen, there's a raw emotions, but you know what? Yesterday would have been I think would have been the one that made everyone think we've lost it. Although there are people out there today still say no, it isn't over. So
Norwich could win, right?
I don't know. It's hard though. This Man City side are honestly they were impressive again the other night. They listen, that the one for me that was that Real Madrid away game. That was quality stuff, and they've been smacking teams left, right, and centre. There's no shame to saying, you know what, these guys got 23, 24 quality players, and you know when it comes to the crunch end of the season, these guys have been there and done it, and they always come good.
When we played Man City in the Carabao Cup final with Ryan Mason as manager, and we lose to Man City, we're bottle jobs in that final. Yet this 23-man squad, when they pip Arsenal to the league, listen.
No. With that cup final, any possibility of winning it went the moment that Jose left. Let's have it right here. Once Jose left, we was done.
But that's not what we were told. That's not what we were told by Arsenal and Chelsea and West Ham fans. We were told we bottled that final. We don't win trophies because we bottled that final.
Because it's what Spurs do, man. That's why.
But when Arsenal lose to Man City, but look at their squad. Excuse me. Let's balance this out a bit.
I agree. I've said it before. What's right for one? What's right for one should be right for the other. If Spurs bottled it in the season that Leicester City won it, and we was never top ever in that year, then if that is considered bottling it, then this is super bottling it because they were first all season long, and they were like, was it 10, 11 points clear? So that's as easy as you can get. Let's have it right. Let's see if we're Spursy. This is our see. Get
big up, Mason.
We listen. We are the king of disappointments. We know it feels like. So, hey, you're feeling like a person. Simple as that. Just one day. Tomorrow will be a day. Don't about it.
No, all summer. They're going to get it all summer. All summer. Just like we got it all summer.
Listen, Matt.
Big up, Mason, for your super chat. Hi, lads. I've only just found this first channel.
If you know, if Stel's not going to let that go, you guys should know.
No. I got pelters over the years, so now I'm going to give it just as good back. Hi, lads. I've only just found this first channel.
You give it a lot, and you receive it a lot. You give it a lot, so you receive a lot as well.
And now I'm in giving it a lot mode. Right?
It's your turn. It's your turn.
Hi, lads.
It's your turn now.
Hi, lads. I've just found this first channel. Glad you're all. I am going to read this super chat.
Iggy's got a delay.
I just found this Spurs channel. Glad you'll leave you out. I'm always at the protest and big up the Woolwich bottle jobs.
Come say hello, man. Come say hello.
Come find JP myself, Iggy.
Is there a delay when I speak?
Not
Yes.
now.
Okay, I'll jump off.
Oh.
I'll jump off and I'll come back on. Then.
Don't end the
Yes,
stream.
It seems right. It
Don't end the
seems
stream.
right now.
I'm not.
Don't end the
Shut
stream.
up. That was on the phone last time.
It seems right now, Iggs. All right, it's gone.
Let me ask you one thing else about Arsenal bottling it, right? Quite a few Arsenal fans are saying this could be the beginning of something new, and they're going to build on it, and there's going to be a war chest in this in the summer, and that they're going to try and build on this. And I go back to when we had Poch and we didn't build on it. Now I think Arsenal will try and build on it. I don't think Arsenal are going to do what we did, because I think they've got a different type of owner to us. I think them getting into the Champions League, I think Arsenal are going to try and build on it and use this as a moment to take it higher, because Arteta's not going to get sacked. Edu's still there. They've still got Vinay. They've still got the team. There's still the project building. I think they're going to go and spend money. Now, what players they attract, I don't know. We're going to find out. And I don't think they're going to make the mistake we made when we just stopped buying. They're going to back Arteta because they've proven they're already doing it now. We never really backed Poch. So that said, though, does that mean they will be better next year? And the reason I say this is because this was a golden chance for Arsenal. Man United, if they get Champions League, they're going to go big. Ten Hag is a good manager. They're going to be better. Poch, which we're going to get into later, he's at Chelsea. We know what Poch can do, and he'll get back in there, no doubt. Liverpool, they've already got themselves back into a top four race. They're winning tonight 2-0 at Leicester. They're going to be stronger. Newcastle with Champions League money, they're going to be stronger. So I know Arsenal fans are all now clinging on to this hope of we're going to have this war chest we're building, but are they going to get a chance as good as this season when so many teams were off the ball? Because I think next year, listen, when we get to Tottenham, we're going to discuss how fucked we are next season. But Lee, I'll come to you because you're shaking your head because you don't think they are going to have as good a chance. Isn't next year just going to be so much more harder for not just Arsenal, but everyone?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the disappointment for most of the teams is this season, especially like your Chelseas, your Arsenal, your Chelseas, your Liverpools and stuff. They're not going to let that happen again. So they're going to do whatever they need to do to make sure they're back at the top of the table. And I think it's going to make it, I hate to say it, and other people already said it, it's the golden chance for Arsenal because everyone else was so underperforming for most of the season. And I think it's just going to be the nature of the beast when everyone's back to where they should be. It's that top position, taking maybe Man City out of the equation depending on what they do, is going to be maybe a 5-horse race, and it's much harder to keep it up when there's 5 people in the race than there is just 2, which is what it's been for most of the season. I mean, I can't see the likes of United, Liverpool, Chelsea letting the standards drop like they did this year. They'll be back on it. I mean,
Liverpool going to make Champions League football, mate.
Well, yeah,
they're going to make
exactly.
They're winning 2-0 tonight.
But Man United and Newcastle have got a game in hand on Liverpool now.
Yeah,
still can be done.
It's going to go to the wire, I think, Iggy. It's going to go close.
Do. But even so, they're the type of teams that have put the money in, right? I mean, Chelsea have just got bottomless pockets, apart from the whatever they.
Chelsea just need a striker and a good manager. They've got a good manager. They get.
Well, Pochettino's there now. Maybe it'll come after our one.
Dietrich with the super chat says, according to the Collins Dictionary, a bottle job means a footballer or football team who consistently collapse under pressure or blow leads. Well, let's look at it. Arsenal blew a semi-final place at home against Villarreal. The manager, who they sacked, Unai Emery. So they bottled it there. They bottled top 4 to Spurs when they were ahead of us with, 4 games to go? They choked then. And this season, 8 points clear. They could end up 7 points behind. So they are consistently choking. So if we're going to use the Collins Dictionary, then yeah.
Go Collins.
Bottle jobs, man. Welcome to the club. Welcome. We know what it feels like at Tottenham. We know. What about you, Iggy and JP? Do you think Arsenal, this was their best chance to try and win the league title? Because next year is going to be so much harder with Newcastle, Chelsea, Liverpool, United all coming back stronger. There's always going to be a couple of teams that unexpectedly fall off. I mean, let's not underestimate Brighton, by the way, because I want to talk about Brighton later on. If Brighton get Europa Cup, they're going to have some spare money. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to say it. I think De Zerbi's top draw, I know people have a good first season.
I
You did
told you
say
about
Iggy.
him.
Iggy did say before he went to Brighton, this guy, watch out for him. He's been bits.
Sassuolo before he went to Shakhtar. I was bigging him up then, but listen, it doesn't matter. The guy, you can see his work now at Brighton. You've seen it first.
You know what? He's coming mid-season. No, he coming starts here. No, he's coming to Brighton. He's lost top players, by the way. Lost Trossard, Basuma. Who's the other one? Fofana, not Fofana.
Fofana.
Centre back, the tall one is at Newcastle.
Chelsea.
Burns.
One at Chelsea.
Burns, and they lost the. Didn't they lose Cucurella to Man City?
Yeah, Chelsea.
To Chelsea. Sorry, right?
Chelsea. Yeah.
He's come in, and I've got to say, man, if Man City do the treble, then Pep needs to get Manager of the Year. But if they don't, I think De Zerbi is right up there for Manager of the Season. This is Brighton we're talking about. Brighton. Freaking so impressive.
He changed
the foundation.
He changed keepers recently as well. He's dropped
the goalie because
he plays better with his feet. It's madness.
But what so I'm going off on track here. We'll come back to Brighton because I want to discuss Brighton because their chairman is the ex number 2 that Daniel Levy had at Spurs. But is it a big chance missed for Arsenal this year? Are they going to get a chance like this? Because, like I've said, Newcastle, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, and even Brighton, they're going to be better next year, surely.
I honestly see it as a similar parallel kind of run to us, us having Poch. That year that we could have done it, exactly the same. Your top teams, as like you want to call them, they're all off the boil. And that was a great chance for us to win it, but Leicester pipped us to it. And it's again kind of the same sort of parallel run, isn't it? They've had an opportunity, even though in that January window they got an opportunity to go out and buy. They went out and got Trossard and a couple of others. And I honestly thought Trossard but with what they had, and I know Jesus was out for kind of like quite a while. But I thought he would have been enough to get them over that line, as it were, right? But it's literally similar to us, like Stel, and kind of like as you say, the next couple of years have just been like Man City kicking on, Liverpool kicked on the season after, Chelsea were back in the mix, and I think that's probably gonna happen next year. But I think with them, probably from Arteta's point of view, he's probably just got to drill into their heads that, do you know what? Look how close you got. If they go out now and get a couple, 2, 3, maybe another quality signings, then he's got to just get it back into them to say, we were close last year. We've got a little bit more quality now, a little bit more depth in the squad. We're there. Kind of like we can also challenge your Liverpools and your Chelseas and stuff.
Yeah, for me, I think they're going to have it tough next year because listen, I agree 100% what you say, JP. I think the likes of Liverpool will be back. Chelsea, of course. Now, I think Chelsea, now when they get that forward sorted out, Pochettino at the helm, I think they'll play.
Because they've also got a lot of young players as well, Iggy, right? Chelsea.
Yeah, and I think Poch is the right man for that.
He's the perfect manager for Chelsea.
Liverpool.
He's going to do so good there.
Newcastle have come into the frame as well now. You don't know what they're going to do this summer. They got money to spend, so they're going to want to definitely want to cement a top 4 finish. Arsenal, listen, I think Arsenal will strengthen again. They can for sure. They'll have a year's experience under them, and they can go again. But the competition next year for those, title race, but even top 4 places, it's going to be absolutely fierce. But they will be there or thereabouts. Then you need a little bit of good fortune along the way. But listen, if Liverpool come back the way they want to, for sure, this can't be acceptable. Chelsea's no way they're going to be accepting that. Man United, as you know, slowly got their things together. They will strengthen as well. Man City are going to be there. Listen, forget it. Top 4 is going to be an absolute war next year, and we're falling way beyond that. So I think they missed a chance this season. I think this season was right because they only had one team to really compete with. next year there's going to be 4 or 5 that are going to compete for those top 4 places, let alone the league. So I don't know. I don't know if Arsenal can do it.
I think they need a striker because for me, Jesus got off to a good start, but I saw nothing from him really towards when it mattered. So I think they need a new striker. I think they need a new centre back because the ones that came in, they're not good enough to replace when an injury to Saliba happens. I think wing back they're okay, and I think they need cover for that that area because in the defensive mid because I know they signed Jorginho, but Partey was a massive player for them this season. He went missing. Partey shat
On
the
the bench,
bed.
it was on the bench last night. On the bench,
And that surprised me because at
They also
Atletico
missed that
Madrid,
Saliba, didn't they?
yeah. Saliba, we can't be underestimated. Is that
that's what I'm
loss?
saying. They need
And it
centre back
limit
cover,
and
striker.
Gabriel is not. Listen to me, guys. Gabriel, I don't know if I said his name right. Gabriel or Gabriel. Gabriel is
Dreams can come
not
true.
to the level. He ain't a good defender, man. Saliba makes that guy look really good, but when he's not there, he's exposed as a really weak defender. That needs to be sorted out because the defense in the last few weeks has been absolutely shameless. Like it's been really, really poor. So for me, that needs to be addressed. And listen, a striker right now, 70, 80 million, go and get yourself Victor Osimhen because he will score goals for fun. He's been the one that's impressed me the most this season as a striker. He's won them the league over there, and for me, he's physically strong. He's quick, powerful in the air, good with his feet, can finish. For me, he's the striker. Not just for Arsenal. I'm talking about for any top team that which is to 20 guaranteed 20
Chelsea
goals,
went and
25
got
goals
him.
a season.
No, Chelsea
If
went
Chelsea
and got
goes
him,
and
then
get
that'd
Victor
be
Osimhen, man, they'll be title contenders. Easy.
Well, maybe Arsenal might go for Victor Osimhen. Why not?
Listen, they would definitely be title contenders as well. Like,
he will be
but
big money though, won't he?
This guy is so rattled. He's Arsenal away. Listen, you've copied our channel name, which means you're the one copying us. You are so rattled. This sums up everything I'm saying about you Arsenal fans. You've bottled it. You're in denial. So now you just want to throw your toys out the pram. Listen, take it from a Spurs fan. Own it. Learn to own it. Okay. We own it a lot. Learn to own it.
Listen, I think we've been all right. I think we're speaking of them. We are having a bit of a laugh and a joke.
Praising them,
with Spurs fans, but there is a lot of praise and good stuff that we're saying about Arsenal and how we see them as a footballing team because we're all footballing people. Listen, when you put the Spurs hat aside, we're all footballing people. We can see what's happening in all the teams. So I think we're not being too bad, man. We could just be really gung ho and just go purely for the banter and just rattle everyone.
I would be so reserved if under Pochettino I did listen to all the shit they threw at us. Not just them, Chelsea fans.
But that's the rivalry, man. That's the rivalry.
Right. So so it goes back to
so you've got to expect
own
it,
it.
of course.
Own it now, Arsenal. Own this. You need to own this. This is the point I'm making. By the way, we get more Arsenal fans coming on our fan show than Spurs sometimes. So we're clearly doing something right.
We are.
Or maybe doing something wrong. I don't know.
We are indeed. We are. We don't know that. If you don't mind, Arsenal away, we take that title. We'll have that title.
Let me ask you something before we go on to Spurs, because oh my God, Spurs is going to be a minefield. Just brace yourselves for Tottenham. Do you think Arsenal will go and say, right, let's go again. Let's go big again. Because they've spent 450 million under Arteta. Do you think they'll give him a 200 million pound war chest and say, go on, now we're in Champions League. Now you've put us back on the map. Go and get 2, 3, 4 world-class players. Go like when they used to buy players like Mesut Ozil, who's in his prime, Alexis Sanchez, top-class players they brought in there. Do you think now they're going to go and do that? Or do you think maybe they're going to keep going down this young route? Because it's clear to me, the one thing Arsenal lacked when it came to the end of the season was that experienced pro. Like back in the day, a Vieira, a Roy Keane, a Tony Adams, a Martin Keown, them type of players that when Arsenal were in their prime. Do you think they'll go and buy those players, or do you think they'll look to buy another Martinelli, another Odegaard type, a Saliba, young, up and coming, but just don't have the experience to get it over the line when it matters?
I'll go. For me, they will definitely get a striker. I think the striker is inbound. I could see another centre back. Honestly, they have to address that centre back. Gabriel is not good enough, guys. If they need to have someone else to partner Saliba, then Gabriel can be part of the squad, but he ain't good enough. Right back and left back, I'm not sure about the right back. Ben White yesterday got rinsed by that Brighton. Although he's done all right this season, I think that's a side that they need to strengthen. And midfield, midfield probably an experienced head. Although Jorginho, that's what he's there for. He provides that experience. But for me, if they can address the striker, the centre back, and I think someone else on the right hand side. Maybe I may miss the post office. Maybe I am wrong about Gabriel. I'm just giving you my take on it.
No, he's average. He's average. Saliba made him look good, man.
I don't
Saliba
mind.
made him look good.
I'm giving you how I see it from an outsider's point of view. I think he's weak. He's a weak part of that defense who's been covered. Has been covered a lot by Saliba. In his absence, all his weaknesses have been exposed. I'm just saying that the level that you got to bring it up to is high, so that has to be addressed. And listen, I think they could do that at the forward, right back, and I don't know, maybe if Partey and Xhaka as well. I think if you can get an quality centre mid, I think 3 players really, the 3 top players would completely change that team again.
Just got a couple of super chats I want to do quickly. The first one is from Language Angels. Thank you, Language Angels. Also a channel member. Big up. Put this towards Iggy's internet. We will do that. Phil P. Normally, do you know? Normally it's my internet that gets cussed. It's nice now that it's not me. Someone else. Big up, Phil P.
A couple of extra wires here still. I wonder if you're looking my internet.
Phil P spiced up his little icon there, isn't he? He's gone
Pasta Arteta with Arsenal crumble. Yummy. Woo! Listen, what about you, JP? What about you, Lee? Do you think Arsenal will go out and do what big clubs do, or do you think they'll still try and do the whole project route?
I don't think that they need too much, to be honest with you. As Iggy says, a couple of I mean, they might, with the Champions League, they might need a bit.
Lee, can I say though, Lee, before you answer this, can I just say, because it just popped into my head, they went out of a lot of competitions early this year, and for a lot of the season, it was 1 game a week. Next season, they're going to be on all 4 fronts. So, is it really not too much, or do they need to really build a good squad now?
Well, I don't. I think they need a few, as Iggy said. I think they need a bit of experience in some of the positions, or maybe just an experienced head as well as Jorginho. But I think they need depth. I think if you're going to go and be in the Champions League and all the other competitions and go for that as well, I think they need a lot more depth than what they've got now. So I think that's where a lot of the money is going to be spent, which means you don't have to spend that much. A few good signings for the first team, and then a few backup players. I think you'd be all right. But I think they should go for it. Why not?
I think I'm surprised, like players like Reece Nelson and stuff like that, and players like that have not been given more of a chance especially in the league. I know next year they'll be in the Champions League, stuff like that, but I would have integrated him a bit more in the league. So when they do need that rotation next season, someone like Nelson and people and players that have not played a lot would have been more ready.
It's funny you mentioned Reece Nelson. The guy who I'm teaming up with in football, you've met him with my football academy. He actually personally coaches Reece Nelson. That's why I haven't mentioned his name, because I don't want, in case anyone clips this. He actually personally coaches Reece Nelson, and I can tell you for a fact, Brighton are trying to get Reece Nelson.
He's a quality player, and I think he's going to do. If he goes to a
Brighton want him, and they're in talks. So, Arsenal fans, if you like Reece Nelson, unless he's getting regular game time, don't be surprised if you see him in a Brighton kit next season. I've
heard he's unhappy of the amount of minutes that he's been getting. I know someone said in the chat that he's been injured this season, but he's not played. Even then, when he has been available, he's not played anywhere near the amount of football he would have liked. And that has prompted him to start thinking about leaving Arsenal to go and play elsewhere. If Brighton is the other team, I don't know. But he's definitely looking to move on. And I'm surprised there because he's a good player.
Well, listen, guys, enough talk about
Enough
Arsenal. The
Enough
biggest
Arsenal
potty
now.
Yeah,
clubs.
I don't really give a shit. So move on.
Yeah.
No,
Listen, we're
we're
going to move
football
on.
people, JP. We're football people. We're
We
talking
are,
about
but
other teams.
I have
We will
praised
get to
them enough.
Tottenham.
I have
We want to
praised
talk
Listen,
about
we're
Tottenham.
gonna go on to Tottenham now. I just want to say congratulations to Manchester City, the Champions League bottle of champagne bottled by Arsenal. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, on to the biggest shit show in world football, the absolute disgrace. Yeah, Tottenham Hotspur. You are fucking pathetic, and I'm gonna go in hard. From Levy to Enoch to Donna Cullen to the board to the players to the fan base. Yes, this fan base stinks, man. And I'm calling it all out. The YouTube, the podcast, all of it. We are rotten. Got no cojones, got no balls. We accept bullshit decisions by the board. We're happy to pay the most expensive prices in world football. This year is a joke like never before. The stadium's built. The money's flowing in. We had Champions League football. We had an elite manager. Fucked it all up. We are on a one-way ticket to nowhere. Next year, I'm predicting
prices are going up.
Prices are going up. Let's break it down, right? Let's break it down. We as a fan base have accepted 5 years of dreadful football, 5 different managers, £500 million of money wasted, £250 million worth of players out on loan. We don't want to back a manager. And when we say back, we don't mean money spent. We mean who's in charge of buying the players and what type of players. We have accepted Conte digging out the club, throwing everyone under a bus, yet every Spurs fan comes out and says, but he spoke the truth. Well, if he spoke the truth, why aren't you backing him, man? Why aren't you getting behind him, Spurs fans? If you've just agreed he's spoken the truth, he gets sacked. In comes Stellini. I know. Let's sack the manager and put in his apprentice. Shit show. And then to top it off, the guy we put in charge a few years ago who finished 7th, we put him in charge thinking, oh, that'll solve it. Guess what? We're 7th again. Surprise! What did you think was going to happen? It's a joke, man. We went into this weekend. We've given up on top 4. We're going for a top 6, a Europa Cup finish. The only thing I think Spurs fans would accept from this shit show of the season, minimum, is a Europa Cup place. We are going to fuck that up as well. In fact, we are fucking it up. Let's start with the match and what happened, and then we'll get into the league table. We'll get into Mourinho. We'll see how Villa have caught us up where they were when Unai Emery got appointed. The shit show of letting Poch go to our arch rivals. The shit show of cutting off negotiations with Nagelsmann. We don't know who the next manager is going to be. There's people now digging out other fans on social media. Some comments I want to bring up and show you. And I'm going to show you the comparison. 23 years before Enoch, 23 years of Enoch, nothing has changed. Yet there's people out there that will say, look what they've done for our club. They've done nothing for this club. And I'm going to prove it to you. But boys, we went into this game, again, a must-win game. This would be a big decider to see, where Spurs and Villa might end up this season. And it gives Villa a chance to get back into that top 6 race and Spurs to cement their top 6 place. We've weakened our position. Now we're going to Brentford at home, which isn't an easy game, in trouble. Who wants to go to Leeds away last game of the season now? When they've picked up a bit of form and they're fighting for it. Do you trust Spurs to go to Leeds?
They're going to need to win. They're going to need
and
to
you know
win.
We're going to choke, right? When you saw these starting lineups, guys, in this really important game, we kept the same team as before. The system that worked in the previous game against, was it Crystal Palace? Yeah, Crystal Palace.
Yep.
Villa with their 4-4-2. The game starts. We are 1-0 down in 7 minutes. I thought things were changing under Mason. I thought the shackles were off. I thought Mason was friends with the players and he was a more progressive manager. I thought Ryan Mason was the answer. Ryan Mason has won 4 points out of 12. 4 out of 12. When Conte was in charge, when he got sacked, this was the league table. We were 4th, 1 point ahead of Newcastle, 6 points ahead of Liverpool, 6 points ahead of Brighton, 7 points ahead of Brentford. Since sacking Conte, we are now 7th, one behind Brighton, and they've got 2 games in hand. Well, Liverpool won tonight, so we're 8 points behind Liverpool. Forget Newcastle and Man United. It's a diabolical decision to get rid of Conte when you don't have a proper manager in place. This has been a disaster, and our fans are accepting it. Guys, when you saw that Villa game, I mean, that's one of the worst first halves. In fact, that's no different to Stellini, Nuno, Conte, and Jose. No different. That first half against Aston Villa. Yeah, I was told, yeah, Mason's on trial to get the job. Get behind Mason. He's one of our own. Bullshit. You mediocre, accepting lunatics, man. We're so in the mud. I've just spent 45 minutes cussing Arsenal. We're a shit show compared to them. Like, how did you think that game against Aston Villa? That second half performance. No, who played well? Who actually played well for Spurs in that game? What about the stupid decisions Mason was making during the game? It was to go first because JP and I sat on here doing a watch along, and literally, we weren't frustrated, we weren't angry, we weren't crying. We were just welcome to the 5 years. It's the same.
Guys, take it away. Take it away.
I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you.
Let's look at the stats.
I mean, it's just do you know the one thing that we had
no shots in the first half. No shots, zero.
The one thing that
Offside
I
every
noticed
time we
straight
tap.
away. Well, this is the thing. They were playing such a high line, like we used to do, and with the likes of, Kane putting those passes in and Sonny running onto this stuff, right? We should have exploited that from after the first couple of minutes of realising they were doing such a high line. But they were so comfortable playing it, and it was catching us out all the time. We should have just been playing balls over the top continually, because even if you do it 100 times, 1 or 2 times it's going to work. But we couldn't handle them. They were just too comfortable for us. And I don't even think they were really putting much pressure on us, were they?
Even from our forward players, even the intelligence of our forward players, you go, all right, you're offside. You're offside the second time. You're offside the third time. By the third time, it's got to
catch them out at one point.
No, but by the third time, it's got to click to time your run.
Yeah.
Not fucking 9 times.
Absolutely.
9 times they were offside in that game.
I mean, I personally, I think Skip and Højbjerg are now showing how much they've played. I think they didn't look up to the kind of performance. I personally, I think Basuma should have started from the beginning. I know he's only come back from injury, but just to change that a little bit, because
bring him on at half time at least. At least bring him on at half time.
I think that just shows the naivety of Mason, right? And how he just can't be the manager. He can't even be considered. I mean, if he's being considered, the only reason that Levy's considering him, and I don't even think it's a money thing, I think it's a control thing. If you put someone like Mason, who's so inexperienced, in there, Levy's going to have him in his pocket. Doesn't matter what he wants or anything, he will just be absolutely in his pocket. Levy will get it completely his way. It's easy to control someone of that level. That's the only reason he'd give it to him. But that would be it for me. But I don't know. It's just it's the same every week with the same starting lineup. I mean, I thought, did Royale have a good game? Is he world class again? Was it
gave away the free kick? Was it irrational for Chicken Royale?
No, that was
chicken. No, it's Bacon Royale with cheese now.
Bacon Royale.
I mean, to be fair, I don't even think. I mean, I can't even remember anything special that Bailey did or anyone else. I don't even think that they looked amazing, to be quite honest with you. Aston Villa. They've come off the back of a couple of losses, haven't they? And I thought, well, maybe we can have a good old go at this. But
I think they gave it a go more than us, and I think that they had that they wanted the game more. You can see they wanted it more than us.
Well, they didn't have to do too much, to be fair.
I said to you the other day, Stel, that the game plan or the game talk just before that game, it's literally simple, isn't it? As you get on our pitch, go after them first 15, 20 minutes, give it all, chase, harass, nick the ball off them, high press, and they'll panic. They've conceded a goal in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes of how many games recently? Just go at them. And that's what they kind of like literally did.
The thing
But,
is,
I mean, in
like,
fairness, Foster made a couple of saves. There was that one diving header that what's his name missed, and they scored. So they could have been about 3-0 up at half time.
and they should have had a
Yeah,
penalty
I
first
agree.
half. I'm sorry, that was a
Mm.
penalty for me. How we got away?
There was the Watkins ones that you're talking about when they were across the goal and he missed the
Yeah,
header by him.
Ollie Watkins.
And there
Yeah.
was the Buendia shot that hit the bar, and
Mhm.
then the penalty incident that you're talking about. Yeah, you're right. There was ample opportunities for them to kill off the game by half time, and we just had a few situations with Son like it got caught offside a few times, but little else.
Kane had a really good chance, and like even I know he got the
Yeah.
penalty and like he scored the penalty, but he had a really good chance. He was clear through,
Yeah.
and normally you'd probably put your house on it, right? But
Yeah.
straight at the keeper.
Yeah, I thought he done really well to keep on in a couple of situations. Even the one where Son was offside and he tried to go around him and he saved it. Listen, I don't know, man. I don't know. Our centre midfield has no life to it. It's pretty dead and bland. They don't
Skip and
really
Højbjerg
offer.
were rubbish, especially Højbjerg.
They don't
Especially
offer for
Højbjerg.
me. You think
We saw
when you
that clip I sent you today.
Yeah. Just, but the thing is, JP,
Clueless.
I just normally, you know, one of the areas you look at all areas, of course you do, but that centre midfield, man, the first 10, 15 minutes, even throughout the whole first half, I thought was really, really poor. The energy levels were poor. There's no real creativity there. They really didn't offer anything. And also, when it comes to like pressing and closing players down, they seem to be far away from the game. But that's not just a midfield thing. That's just a Spurs thing. They get men behind the ball, but then they like give them 5 yards on it. You know, there's no immediate pressure. The nearest man going to the nearest player to go and get that ball, or just speed up these thought process. Don't give them so much time. There's none of that. And of course, when they don't even give that much protection to the defense. So the defense is vulnerable as it is. When it has no kind of like it's like protection in front of him, it becomes a shit show. So we didn't offer anything. You're right. Basuma should have come on before, guys. You're absolutely right because he's come back from injury, yes, but he's going to be fresh. He's ready to, and he's really good on the ball. He's
He was
comfortable with
lively
keeping
when
the
him
ball
and Kulu came
anywhere on
on,
the
right?
pitch. So when someone's like that, you really want to have him involved. And listen, at this point of the season, what the fuck have we got to lose by playing him? Nothing at all.
Well,
We can't
this
lose
is my
more than
point.
what
This
we
has
already
been my
got.
point. You keep putting the
Can't lose
same starting lineup. You keep, you know, either scraping a win which shouldn't have been our win in the first place because VAR put it in our favour or something of that nature, and you keep turning out the same dross, and it's just like, just change it for crying out loud. Just put someone else in. He might have been injured, but you know he's a bit more creative than the other guys. He actually looks like he wants to go around the player, let alone just passing it sideways or backwards. I mean, if Højbjerg
even
passes
some
it
of the under
sideways any longer,
23s.
he can't earn any air miles because he doesn't go forward.
The thing is, Eric Dyer.
Joke.
Eric Dyer's been dropped for the last 2 games, and we're still shit. Imagine Dyer was playing as well.
It was
Well,
different.
it's
the
because
first
we've got
game.
he's got his twin brother who uses his left foot in long lay.
And we want to sign him apparently from Barcelona without having a manager in place. This
listen, for me as well, I don't
There's
what
think
did you
no-
make of the
there should
subs,
be
by the
no-
way?
There should
What
be
did you
no
make of the
talk about
subs?
signings.
Danjuma came on, Kulu came on, Basuma came on. Out of the subs, the only one that I thought did well was Basuma. I thought Kulu went at them a bit, but that was it for 5 minutes. Danjuma had no impact.
I think I can't even remember Danjuma touching the ball. He probably did, but he had that much impact. I didn't really see much of it. I think Basuma looked
lively.
I think he looks lively, yeah, and I think he looked
keeps the
more
ball,
comfortable
though.
with taking the
Keeps the
ball
ball,
around people and taking it, yeah, and I think that's what you need. You just need that. You know, Højbjerg gets the ball in the middle. He has played some nice forward balls a couple of times, so you could probably count them on one hand. But Basuma does that thing where he takes it past the player in the midfield, which then just opens that gap up between the forward, and then he's got more time to, make that pass. Whereas Højbjerg tries to pass it around people, and all he ever seems to do is go backwards or sideways, and that's not progressing you forward at all. So I think he did well. Kulu, I mean, he's another one that's gone missing, isn't he? Really, second half this season. I still think potentially he's a bit injured. I don't think he's fully up to scratch. But
there's a
apparently
lot
we're
of
getting
talk
a
around him as
voucher
well,
code
isn't
for
there,
him
Lee?
now.
Do you think we should sign Kulu, guys? Do you think we should
There's a lot
sign
of
him?
talk
Or not?
around him as well. So I don't know.
But this whole Kulu situation, right? I know it's all come out now, and apparently there's a couple of things out there. Either we're not going to sign him at all, and we don't want to because we're not in the Champions League. We don't want to initiate that buyout clause, and or we want a discount, etc., because we're not in the Champions League. But wasn't this is exactly what he was like at Juventus? He was a bit of a fringe player that had some spark and then went on a run and then just disappeared for a little bit, and his form sort of dropped, and it seems like he's doing the same thing at Tottenham. I mean,
it's a tough one. It's a tough one for me
because he has been injured, hasn't he? And like he's only just come back.
He's never been he hasn't been the same since he come back. Before that, he was on fire, but now he's. I mean, it could be the whole team, the way that we're all playing, and the losses and that's getting to him as well. I mean, it does weigh on your mind, but
it must bring morale down. Going, like freaking 10 minutes and you're 2-0 down in a game.
Absolutely.
After game, and then you think, God, do you know what? I've got to come on and do it now, kind of thing. So I get that as well.
But listen, you've got three choices, right? Dire contract, buying Longley, or just paying 30 million for Kulusevski, who's when he's on fire is worth every penny. Right, he's worth every penny of that, and stop haggling over shit. Which one would you take? Because I certainly know which one I would take.
Oh, Kulu, easy. But I think also it's the manager, right? Because obviously Conte probably got the best out of him that kind of like first, kind of like the back end of last year, right? Like as he came, I don't know what he said to him, what he did for him or whatever, but he certainly got him playing, didn't he?
Oh, and just someone just put a comment in there as well. Richarlison.
Listen,
might as well have not turned up. Whatever it is he thinks he's doing on a football pitch, I don't get it. He offers absolutely nothing.
Lee, I've been saying this for a lot of weeks now, and some people defend it, rightly so, if they want to. It's their opinion. And some people say put him in his right position. I think Richarlison is the biggest waste of fucking money in the history of this club. Worse than Ndombele, worse than Sanchez, and worse than that fraud we call what's his name? The other fraud who wasted money. Klinsmann.
I know.
Freud.
Honestly, this guy offers nothing but shithousery. And 1 in every 10 games, he'll do something nuts, like some outrageous flick that hits the crossbar, or a nutmeg, a no-look nutmeg. He'll do something Brazilian, but that's it. His performance against Villa was absolute dog shit, man. Like,
absolutely.
I don't get it.
He offers absolutely nothing
to
the team.
He's been selected now. He's been selected twice now. 2 games back to back. Played him in the centre in a 4-4-2. It was like we played with 2 up front. We've dropped off Kane to let him play further upfield. And you think in 2 games, even if he didn't score, you'd see sign of him as a player, and haven't seen any of that. So for me, he hasn't justified a starting place for the next game. In regards to Kulusevski, listen, guys, as you know, I do watch a bit of television, and I agree with what Matt's saying here. He said under Pirlo, he was playing. He was playing. He had a lot. Listen, Kulusevski is a confidence player. Pirlo had confidence in him. Allegri didn't. Allegri benched him a lot. He wasn't his
How old is
type of
Kulu?
player. 22, 23. I don't think he's any more than that.
Yeah, he's that old. Young.
So Kulu's a confidence player. He needs to be. He needs to know that he's got the full.
He's 23 years old. He turned 23 a couple of weeks ago.
So he needs the absolute confidence of the manager. He needs to be clear.
He's not a kid, though. He's not a kid.
I'm not saying he's a kid. I'm saying that for a young player, he's already like, you know, he played for one of the biggest clubs in Italy. Came from Parma, played at Atalanta. He's been involved in around the football. He's a star, you know, he's one of the star players for Sweden as well. So what I'm trying to say is this is a kid, a player that knows when we've seen him at his best. We've not seen him now, but we've seen him at his best. So I think he does merit a chance. Yeah, but we need to have a manager that absolutely says, you know what, you're my man. If he's not part of the manager's plans, then you might as well get rid of him. No point spending the money if he's no longer going to be involved in the way that we play. But I like Kulu. I think he's got caught up with old shit show this season without any injuries haven't helped.
Manager,
but then again, tell me a player outside of Kane that's really blossomed this year. Nobody, man. So why are we digging out Kulu when we've got like Kane aside,
10 others to have a go at?
Yeah, but Kane aside, really, and even Kane hasn't been brilliant this season. But what saves Kane are his numbers. The numbers don't lie for a forward. So, you know, outside of him, who would you give player of the season to? Manager's player of the season to?
Harry Kane. He's the only one who's performed.
It's easy. That's what
Shit
I'm saying.
team, 25 goals. It's straightforward.
So, what? It's a no-brainer, and that's not good enough, guys. Not good enough for a team to have one player that easily outshines everyone else. So we need to look at the setup. We need to look at everything else. I don't think Kulusevski signing him or not is the be all end all. I think there's other priorities that need to be sorted out.
I was talking with Shine about that, about playing him as a cam.
He'd be a brilliant number 10. He'd be a brilliant number 10.
Do you know who's a good number 10? And this fan base shat all over him, and I don't think he got a fair crack at it, man. No, not number 10. Not number 10.
You're going to say Vinicius?
No. Giovanni Lo Celso. He's a good player. People just don't.
I didn't have any problem with Lo Celso, to be honest.
Unai Emery wants him at Villarreal now, so he's good enough for a team that's just battered us. Well, not battered us, beaten us.
Villa, you mean? He wants to Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Listen,
are we saying Unai Emery?
If the Premier League was played in Argentina, it'd be wonders. The problem for Lo Celso, I don't know why, because he obviously played well in Spain.
He's a good player, Iggy.
The problem that you have that England gets cold in the winter. It gets cold in the winter, and and it gets physical and
Celso came to England.
Handle that.
Celso came to England.
The climate's a little bit warmer. They speak the same language as Argentina.
Celso came to England and knocked out Arsenal in the Europa Cup.
One-off
game.
Is
that all he's done?
No.
Oh, we're talking about climates. He played in the climate here and knocked out Arsenal.
Here in England.
Yeah, but not.
Is that all you can come up with? Because I can't remember shit about it. Now listen, I'm not saying
this is what I mean about fans shitting on players.
No. I'm not saying
the same to Reguilon. I think Reguilon's a good player.
I like Reguilon. I like Reguilon.
Yeah, we shout on him as well. Why?
Yeah.
Reggie's not a bad player.
Listen, Lo Celso technically is a very good player. I'm not knocking the guy. I think he's a good technical player.
One time he runs the ball off the pitch against Everton. There's a meme made about him. That's City shit. Everyone does dumb shit once in a while, man.
Still, this geezer goes to Argentina, comes back, and he's always injured, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm not talking about him being injured.
When you really need him, he's never there.
I think Lo Celso's a good player.
Argentina were crying when he wasn't in the World Cup squad, like for the World Cup.
We needed him for us, and he wasn't there still.
He wasn't there still. Whenever you ever said like Lo Celso, oh, do you know what? He's there. He's like, oh, he's injured again.
He's
done himself. He's gone to Argentina.
When he was fit,
when
he scored more goals for Tottenham than Richie. Ndombele scored more goals than Richie, and they're not even strikers.
Soldado scored more goals.
How many did Vinicius Junior score? 1 or 2?
There's probably 2.
In a couple.
He scored more. He scored more than Richie.
53 games, 1 goal. Is that stat right?
Who's that?
53. Lo Celso. 53 games, 1 goal.
No, he scored. Under Mourinho, he scored a couple of goals. I remember he come off the bench.
I don't know who he scored. I'm asking. Mine was a question.
Make it 2-0 as well. Listen, I look. I've said this before. There's certain players, and by the way, can I say Basuma's one of these? There's certain players that get. I bet you, if De Zerbi was our manager, Basuma, Lo Celso, Redleon would be far better players under a De Zerbi.
Agree. Yeah, possibly. Even in Ndombele, maybe even in Ndombele.
Maybe, right? But I'm not going to say it's just the manager because we know that we probably wouldn't sign a Casado. We wouldn't have signed the who's the Asian player that got out wide? Momota? I forgot his name. Sorry.
I know what you're talking about.
The one that was skinning Ben. Right.
The
We
one
probably
that
wouldn't sign
by Martinelli.
That's the one. That was it. How's that not a booking, man? How was that not a booking? Anyway, but
but Casado got him back, though, didn't he?
but see, at this club, at a top level, the decisions that trickle down towards the hiring and firing of managers, not sticking by managers when the going gets tough. Who makes the decisions on players staying or going? Who makes the decisions on buying players? Who makes the decisions on why we keep players too long? All this stuff is a mess, and now we've been paying the price for a while, but now it's a breaking point.
Yeah, we got odd jobs everywhere, haven't we?
Yeah, but like
bits of this manager, bits of that manager, bits of 6 managers ago.
Let me ask you something. That performance against Aston Villa, was that any different to what we've seen under Conte, Nuno, Jose, Stellini? Was it any different?
I'll be honest with you, I switched off after the second one went in. When the free kick flew in, I was like, that's enough for me. I'm done.
Which that free kick as well is Forster's issue. He was so far over to his left. And the fact that Villa set up a wall in front of ours, which makes it even harder for the striker to put it over that side of the goal. He left so much space on his left-hand side. It was obvious where it was going. And he didn't even get it in the corner, the guy. It was fucking 2 foot inside the post.
It wasn't
in
in
that corner, a fucking mile away.
Was it a keeper error for you?
For me, it was a keeper issue. He should have been more central to the goal. If he was more central, he would have saved that. He would have got to it.
The ball didn't go into the corner, did it, Lee? The ball actually was about a metre
2
from
foot inside the post.
Yeah, he's got to be saving that, man.
It's not the most reactive. But again, that's another issue we've got to sort out. The keeper issues, for me, it's been a ball ache for me for 2 or 3 seasons now. You guys know, for as long as I've been doing Tottenham away, how long have I been talking about that keeper? Everyone's like, but Luis is still good. But this is 2 years ago I said it about Luis. And I was like, no, he's still got another season in him. I was like, when we gave him another year or 2 contract, I was like, that was a big mistake. We should have recognised it and got another keeper. And for me, a modern day goalie, we need to move with the times because we are losing out on 15 points a season. But
I don't understand how Lo Celso's bang average when he played midfield for Villarreal week in, week out and won the Europa Cup. I don't understand how he can be bang average. That doesn't make sense to me.
I just think this
make that make sense.
Real talk. I think so.
I'm not saying he's elite, but I thought Lo Celso was a good player for us, but his injuries hampered him. And the other thing that pissed me off with Lo Celso is 1 week he's right wing, then he's left wing, then he's behind the striker, then he's in a 3. I'm like, can we just give him a position and let him play in that position like he did at was it Real Betis he come from?
Yeah,
I think it was Betis. Can't we do that?
I think some players adapt to the league better than others. I think a Spanish league suits him more for his attributes that he has at his disposal than say the Premier League. But you're right. Maybe he was at a club where there was a lot of confusion at the time as to where they wanted to play him and so forth. And he was always injured, man. That's the thing that killed me. That when he would go on international duty and he'll come back fucked. That used to do my head in all the time. And we never late, and he always had discipline issues. And I know there was issues with him discipline wise in backstage, so to speak. He'll do a lot of. There'll be a lot more mishaps than people like to know. But listen, I say again, technically there's no question about it. He's a quality player. But for me, a quality player that's never really available for the team when they need him the most can't be counted on. And I have a problem with that. Not him.
Can I just say, these stats from Lo Celso, these stats from Lo Celso are a little bit unfair because how many of those games did he start and play the whole game? Because he did a lot of bit part play as well. Don't forget, I'll never forget it, in the Carabao Cup final, when we played Man City, Lo Celso was actually one of our best players on the day, and he got pulled off. We pulled off Lo Celso in that final, and he was actually one of our better players. The managers,
he came with high hopes to be in that number 10 role, right, and like take control of the midfield and just like be that person who plays the ball.
But JP, who did we buy him for?
Like that.
But who did we buy him for, JP? For Poch.
As a manager wise, yeah, Poch.
We then sacked Poch 3 months after buying Lo Celso, and we bring in a manager who plays the complete opposite system to what Poch brought the player in for, and then we wonder why these players don't work well. And we've had this discussion.
Same could be said about
it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed.
You could say the same about Doherty and Emerson. You could say the same about a lot of players, because we've had this discussion on the channel many times.
Yeah.
The manager that comes in inherits a bit of Poch's team, a bit of the manager after Poch.
That's what I'm saying. Mishmash.
Conte inherited a bit of Poch, a bit of Jose, a bit of Nuno, and these players don't fit the next manager's system. And who suffers at the end of the day? Us as fans and the players who now shouldn't be there anymore. And then we go, and what do? We go after the players all the time. Look, there's some players that have been there for a long time and you can make a good judgment. Like Dyer, he's been there for ages. Sanchez, Davies, Sessegnon's been there 4 years now. Like, we can make an assessment on them and say, do you know what? They've had time, man. But other players like Lo Celso, listen, I'll even put Chicken Run in there, to be fair. If I'm going to be fair, I've got to be fair, right? Even he's only been there a year or two. So let's see. Although I don't rate him, let's see. But the way we just go after players that have only been there like a year or two, and they've had 4 different managers, you're like, well, how can they perform? Basuma suddenly goes to shit. Suddenly he's shit. He comes to Spurs and he's shit. We were excited when he came from Brighton.
Porro. We were excited.
Porro.
So excited when we got him. Bought him for Conte. Yeah. Next manager comes in, may not play a wing-back system, right? So we've got him. And again, 2 games into him, he had to come off social media about attacking players. Rather than attacking the person, you need to go and attack the person who's like controlling all of this. Do you know what I mean?
All roads lead to Rome, man. At the end of the day, it all stems from the same fucking number one issue of it all: direction, how we want to play. What is the Tottenham way? I keep hearing about the Tottenham way. What is the Tottenham way anymore? I don't know, man. And how we want to play, and the philosophy of the football that you wish to see, and you wish to, as a manager, wish for your team to play, will determine the players that you have for it. So you can, if you feel like you're going to play a possession football where you require a lot of technical players, Lo Celso will come into that. Of course he would. But if you're not going to play that way, why have him? This is what I'm saying. You need to decide what you want.
When people say Lo Celso doesn't suit this league, how do you know? And when you say surely you must be able to see that, okay, let me flip it. Mohamed Salah and Kevin De Bruyne didn't work. Right? They're both at Chelsea. Didn't work. Bye-bye. Mohamed Salah has become one of the best strikers the league's seen, and De Bruyne has been one of the best midfielders the league's ever seen. Go back and people will write them off. I'm not saying Lo Celso is that level. Far from it. My point is, when you put a player in the right environment, in the right culture, with the right man, ask Lee, he coaches as well. When you got the right environment for training, the right culture of the club, and everyone's on board, then judge the player. I just don't see that at Spurs, and I haven't seen it since the Champions League final. And all these players are getting thrown under a bus. Some of them deserve it. Some of them are just shit. But Lo Celso for me isn't one of them, and he proved it. He went to Villarreal and he did it. I'm not saying he's the answer, but he's better than some of the midfielders we've got at the moment, in my view. Whether he stays fit or not, I don't know.
He needs another crack at the whip, is what you're saying.
Under De Zerbi, let's judge him.
Under a right manager.
Let's hire the manager. Let's see why in which part of De Zerbi's head right now he has to be completely insane to say, you know what, Brighton, thank you, but I think Tottenham's the club where I want to go and manage.
He's not leaving them.
Come on, man. Who's the right mind would make a decision like that? What you said it, the right environment, the right situation. Brighton's the perfect situation for him this moment. In a year or two might be different, but right now, why would you want to leave that setup? And they're going to probably go and play in Europa to leave them to join Tottenham with a fucked up chairman that's going to sack you probably within 12 or 18 months in a team that's in absolute disarray.
Free money in it. That's
would
the only
be the
reason you'd
purpose?
come.
Wait, the money.
Free money. It's literally free money for a year, isn't it?
But he could be on his arse in 12 to 18 months' time. He could be sitting next to Conte again, jobless, and thinking, why the fuck did I leave Brighton for this? He might as well sit tight on that Brighton's job because a big job, Pep's not going to last at Man City forever. I'm sure he's going to want to change sooner or later. Klopp has been there 7 years at Liverpool.
So was it Lo Celso at Villarreal when they won the Europa Cup?
Sevilla? Might have been Sevilla. I don't know.
No, Villarreal, they won it. They beat Man United in the final.
Yeah, he was in that team. I'm sure he was. Or maybe
DJ, what are you talking about?
Probably was injured.
He was at Villarreal. I remember him playing against Arsenal. Anyway, let me ask you something. Because we are talking about bottle jobs. So we've bottled this season big time. We've bottled top 4. We're bottling top 6. We've given these players 3 different managers. Levy's under pressure, although our fans are too scared or cowardly.
Come and stand on this side of the road, everyone.
I was just looking at previous managers we've had, right, and just doing a little think. And Mourinho was the fastest coach to get to 50 wins in the Premier League, the fastest coach to get to 50 wins in La Liga, the fastest coach to get 50 wins in Serie A, and he got us to a cup final and we sacked him. Now, how has that been allowed to happen? How have we allowed this top manager who got us to a final to be sacked?
It tells you what the board want. And winning the Carling Cup or whatever it was at the time has no significance from a financial point of view to help him in any way whatsoever. Getting 4th has much more financial clout, much more financial impact to the balance sheet. That's what it is. And even now, again, getting rid of a manager, an assistant, and the assistant's assistant, and the assistant's assistant who's there now, don't have a manager, don't have a women's manager, don't have a director of football. I said it the other day. He's literally saying 2 fingers up at everybody.
That there.
And do you know what? Everyone's taking it.
That there is one of the reasons why our fan base is just not in touch with reality. And apologies, Paul Russell, but why would Daniel Levy and ENIC sell a money-making machine? Because that's what it is to them. There's absolutely no, unless someone comes in and pays them well over the odds for this club, there's no way they're going to let go of a club that basically makes them money. Not going to happen.
But if everyone makes it uncomfortable for them, and the sponsors get shy and the sponsors pull out and things like that, then he's got to seriously think about it.
You see that all the time, and companies still stick to their guns all the time. I don't think they would let that go. I mean, I think the worst case or the best case scenario we would see was possibly Daniel Levy moving aside. But while they've got this portfolio of because at the end of the day, the question's got to be, what are they actually selling, right? Because we all see Tottenham Hotspur and Levy's got this business and all this kind of stuff, but how much of that is actually anything to do with the football side of it? For probably very little. So
they're selling entertainment, aren't they?
I think they're selling selling the football club and the stadium, which I don't even think is ours anyway, is it? It's under
ENIC, isn't it?
Yeah, under ENIC. They might find that actually the club's not worth as much as what they're making it out to be. And unless someone comes in and goes, Levy says 6 billion, or don't even, that's what it's worth. Unless someone comes in and goes, all right, we'll give you 8 billion for it, he's not going to budge.
But we as fans, what we think about
the financials,
what we
I don't
as
think
fans,
it's worth
though,
as much as he thinks.
What are we doing as fans to try and force some kind of change? We're tolerating, we're accepting, we're moaning, we're complaining. We want this and that to happen. We're doing nothing about. By the way, I checked it as well. You're right. Lo Celso didn't play in the Europa Cup final. I take it back. He got to the Champions League semi-final. But for me, that's even good enough. Fine. Champions League's better than Europa.
He won with
Semi-final.
PSG as well. He has won trophies with PSG. I know
Listen,
that.
whether or not he's a good enough player for those clubs to go to those levels. I don't understand why he's not good enough for Spurs. I know he got injuries, but look, I think I've got an eye for a player. I think Lo Celso is a good player. He's just another, just like I think Reguilón's a good player.
I think Lo Celso is technically better than probably 60% of the squad we've got now, and that's the thing we miss more than anything is technical players, not just players that can play a ball sideways or backwards. Anyone can fucking do that. But when they're under pressure, just like Basuma, when he's got someone coming at him, he can make a decision to just do a little sidestep or something like to take it round him, then move forward. That's the kind of mentality that we completely missing of any creativity.
Bentancur is the pure person who does that, right?
But,
yeah.
And then apparently, is he? I've heard, and again, I sometimes I'll put the training videos on and stuff like that on YouTube that they post up, and I think one last week or the week before, you saw Bentancur was on one of the bikes doing some pretty intensive cycling on one of the bikes. I thought, well, that's a good sign because it's, if he's doing that kind of movement in his knee, etc., then he must be on plan. But then I heard apparently he's not even going to be ready for the start of next season now. I'm just
Lee,
it was like November or something, wasn't it?
He's not going to be back to the end of the season and end of Christmas. No way.
That's madness. Yeah. To see him doing that kind of intensive work on his knee and then going that backwards is a bit of a
Oh, there you go.
Bit of a is it an issue with the
it's flicking the ball around? But
doctors
still, just to also say, you're going on about Gio. Shine also really liked him and also rated him and thought he was going to be really good for us.
Shine's got the coach's eye, man. He knows,
and like he's quite good like that as well.
I just feel we signed some players for Poch, which was an attacking on the front foot team. We signed some players from Mourinho, which was a defensive, ultra pragmatic team. Nuno didn't sign any players because we signed them. Then we brought Nuno in, so Nuno had no say. He just had to pick up the pieces. And then we signed some players for Conte, which was kind of a bit of Mourinho, but a bit more attacking, but then he never quite got backed. And we bought no players for Stellini and none for Mason. So it's a complete.
In what you're saying, there is truth.
It's a complete shit show
but that's.
And players drown in that environment.
I'm trying not to use certain words, but that goes to the.
It's a fucking disgrace, Iggy. Yeah, it's a fucking disgrace.
Listen, it doesn't
and
matter.
Our fan base, I'm going to say it. Our fan base are pussies. Cowards. They accept this shit. Our fan base says, yeah, more please. I'll go on Twitter. I want change. I'm unhappy.
Mate,
do something about it.
The prices have gone up. You've seen the members. The price of the members have gone up as well.
I
said something about it earlier on.
They'll pay it. They'll pay the extra 10 quid. If they're happy to spend 30 quid in the stadium on beers, pints, and pies, they'll spend 10 quid for one whole year. What's that work out to? £1 a month. They'll do it.
But that's what I was saying still the other day.
They'll moan about it on social media. They'll all moan on YouTube, but they won't do nothing about it.
That's what I was saying. I made that little video the other day. After that Villa game, I saw so many people on Twitter and stuff. Oh, Levy out, this out, that out, Donna Cullen out, all of this stuff. And it was like literally, well, if you all feel that bad, surely you're not happy with the way the club's being run at the moment, the football we're playing. The fact that we've got this mishmash of team, we don't have players, we don't have a midfield, defense is absolutely piss poor. You can't be happy with any of that. So come and make your voice heard. Just come and cross that road and stand across the road with other people and make your voice heard.
I was saying to Brian David,
it may not change anything. It may not change anything, but show your frustration.
If we get the numbers, it will change. I said to Brian Daigle the other day, you're going to see all the YouTube channels, when we lose, talk about Enoch and Levy, because they can't talk about the manager anymore. Because all these channels spent all year, Conte out, Jose out, Nuno out, Poch out. You spent all these years slagging the manager. You've got all that now. You've got it. Oh, but Stellini's the same as Conte. Right, well, he's gone. Now you got Mason. What are you going to say now? Because if you've got an issue with Mason now, then your issue has to be with Levy. And they can't go there because then everything they said for the last 4 years, they've got to swallow their pride in what they said.
Yeah, but
so what they'll do now
change,
is
right?
they do, JP, but the thing is, they also change as soon as we win a game. As soon as we win a game, okay, yeah, you see that
right.
top six is on. Well, you just lowered your standards from top four.
Rosy.
And I said to Brian, you're going to see this. Channels who talk about Enoch and Levy now are doing it because that's where the viewing eyes are, not because that's how they feel and that's what they want to talk about. They do it because that's what the viewers want to hear. They're basically doing whatever people want to hear. It's what the FA do. It's called lip service. Let's tell people what they want to hear, but actually we mean something completely different. And you know it's lip service because they don't protest, they don't boycott. A lot of them have been backing this change for Tottenham group. What the fuck has change for Tottenham done? They've written a couple of letters. Now they're telling fans, go to the last game, but don't buy food and drink. Are you stupid? Are you actually that detached from the fan base? You think fans are going to go to Spurs but not spend money on food and drink? You don't get it then. They had a rally march. They cancelled it because 9% of their members said they'll do it. Well, 9% of your 7,000 followers on Twitter is what? 700, 600? I think, so people talk a great game, but very few channels, our channel, Tommy's channel, Brian Daigle's channel, Bob. We walk the walk, man. We freaking walk the walk. And this is the problem. And you can't force people what to do. You can't. So I call them out. I just call them out and I get a lot of grief for it. But I don't care because it's the truth. You can't argue if you don't. You can't say Enoch out, Levy out, and not turn up to the Enoch out, Levy out protests. It doesn't make sense. The fans who live abroad, I feel sorry for them because they can't do anything.
You get that. And for them retweeting everything and that, absolutely perfect and love it.
Or even the fans who live like up north or down south, it's a bit of, it's a bit of a trek. Okay. But the 62,000 fans, how is it 62,500 fans go into the stadium, 6,000 are chanting Levy out? Where are those 6,000 before the game? Where are you? Like, I don't get it.
It's the acoustics, isn't it?
DJ Marcus, you're on. You're on. Come find us. Come find me.
Where's he at?
I'll come down to the protest if you buy me a puck of pie and chips. Mate, we'll take you to Chick King, even better.
Chicken. I ain't been in a while, but yeah, love me a bit of chicken.
Ryan Isaacs said to be a Chick King because he lost his bet that we'd beat Liverpool. He came close though. He came close.
It was close. It was close.
But he forgot that we're Spurs. He forgot who we are.
See, I think next season, what happens there is all going to be telling within about the first week or so after the season ends, right? If we don't have a director of football and a manager within a week or two of the season being over, then whoever it is that comes in after that is going to have little to absolutely no time to get us out of the mud. I mean, if we get someone in early doors that can work together and put a plan for that season in place, then we're going to be shot. It'll be another last-minute thing. Everyone scrambling in the last week of the window to get bargain basement.
No players. Who's players?
And it will be no different to what it is now. And I don't see. I mean, as you said, Zerbi ain't coming to us. Why would he? If Brighton end up above us, why would they bother? Why would he come to us? The flashy stadium and maybe money that doesn't get spent right. Unless he's got control of the players that he wants, he's never going to replicate Brighton at Tottenham, is he? That's what we'd like to see. We'd like to see him replicate what he's done at Brighton at Tottenham, but it's never going to happen. So,
not the backing, not the players, not the.
Mate, the scouting and the recruitment at Brighton is top notch, man. It really is top notch. They've got it locked down.
This is what I've said.
Zerbi's getting the right kind of support with the level of resources they've got. And he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job as a manager as well, though.
Yeah, he is. But we as a club need to get our heads out of our asses about this whole, we have to buy fucking Ibrahimoviches or fucking, Messi's or these type of equivalent players to get anywhere. No, you don't. You need a manager that buys good players, not the fucking right 70, 90, 100 million pound players, good players in a system that he wants to stick to like he's done at Brighton. He's found all these players and he's put them in their positions and put to their strengths and play that type of football and stick to it. Because that's the problem we've had with Mourinho and as you said, and all of these managers, they've just been given what they've given. And I've been a big advocate for Conte. I think he's a fantastic manager, but he was never given the tools he needed to take us where he wanted us to take us with the system that he does. It's as simple as that. I think it's going to be first couple of weeks after the season ended. If we don't have anyone in place in those two positions, forget about the players, then we're going to be in the mud again. And also, if Levy doesn't change his ways in the transfer market, where he leaves everything to the last minute because he seems to think that there's more value in doing that, then as an example right now, right, you've seen that Brentford have put an offer in for this new goalkeeper, right? Because they know Raya's not going to be there next season. Levy or whoever it is in charge should have been on the phone weeks ago saying, right, we want you. We want to get onto his agent and say, we want you. This is the offer, blah, blah, blah. We're absolutely serious. You're going to be number one. Lloris is going. Come to us. That should be in the background. That should be done and dusted. But if he now leaves it until like 2 months' time, everyone's going to be after Ray knowing that he's leaving, and we'll be back in the queue again as usual for the teams out there that need him. We should have been stitching that up for fucking weeks ago,
ages ago. Yep.
Same with Maddison as well. I truly don't believe Maddison will come to this club. I think he fucking hates us, and I don't think he'll come to this club. But if there's a slight chance, we should have been tapping him up weeks ago, saying, "Oi, you boys are going down. There's an offer here for you. You're welcome to our club. We need you. You know, even if we don't have a manager, come on, he's a quality enough player to fit into somewhere."
Lee, let me remind you, the last time we finished 6th or 7th, I think it was under Jose. Just remember the players we signed when we finished 7th or 6th, whatever it was. Doherty, Joe Rodon, Højbjerg, Carlos Vinicius. Right, that was the caliber of player we were signing because that's what we could attract, and that's how we spent the money. Anyone who thinks we're going to sign anyone who thinks we're going to sign Maddison's and Bastonis this window are out of their fucking mind. No, we ain't getting none of that. We're not getting any of that.
The only chance of us getting Maddison. The only chance of us getting us Maddison is if there's no other. The likes of City, Arsenal. Well, if they don't need him and they don't want to spend the money on him, that's the only chance that we've got of getting him because we are so far down the pecking order for any of the big clubs in England for him to go to that we'd have to be we're the only option left.
I honestly see Newcastle going back in for him because they were after him in January, right?
If they got Champions League football, then why would he not go to them?
But I mean, it's also a place on the rise, isn't it, up there? So, and if you end up winning something with them, you just know you'll be in heaven, right? Kind of up there. And Stel, like what I sent you earlier, like that picture. So like today, 1963, and I know it's going back history, first English club to win a European Cup. And look at us now.
First English club to do it, the first club to do a double, first club to what was it?
But today, as in today in 1963,
to get to 8 FA Cup wins. Yeah. JP, this isn't a football club anymore, mate. It's not a football club anymore.
It's shameful and it hurts and it kind of rips my heart apart because I love Tottenham and I love the football club. But born, like went to school there, went there as a kid, 8 years, 9 years old.
Look, we've JP, man, we all agree, dude.
Absolutely mugged off.
But the fans are allowing us to get mugged off. They're accepting this shit. They refuse to take action. I don't get it. Look, we've talked about the game against Villa.
Big up, Alex, by the way.
Big up, Alex. We've talked about how we were 4th place before Conte got sacked. We're now 7th after Conte got sacked, which is what everyone asked for. They got what they want. We said this would happen. No one listens to us because Tottenham are always an echo chamber. Maybe we just know a thing or two. Jose, his stats don't lie. We mugged him off as well. Let's talk about Villa because the thing with Aston Villa, let me just remove that banner from the bottom. They were 14 points behind Spurs when Emery took over in October. They've now completed the double over North London, over Tottenham, winning at our ground and their ground for the first time, I think, in top flight footballing history. The Spaniard has transformed Villa, and it showed on the day. And we saw by the way they were organised, defensively especially, they were very well organised. That line was just immaculate, the defensive line they held. And they caught us offside so many times. Disjointed Spurs looking every inch a team who were playing under their third head as a coach. They've caught us up. Aston Villa have caught us up, and they're now equal on points with us. So explain to me how fans are now tolerating this. Because this is another layer of bullshit we're accepting. How's that happened? How's Villa caught us? They're in relegation fight.
But they've gone and got a manager who's
Alex. Let Alex talk. Let Alex talk.
know.
Alex, answer the question, man. What are you saying?
I don't think it's accepting it. It's just that you just think about other things and just doing it. You move on with your life and that's it. You think about other things and that's it, really. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, day 50 of the worst kept secret in football. Tottenham Hotspur still haven't got a manager yet. On the road to 72 days. I was saying this on yesterday, someone else's stream yesterday. Everybody knows who I was on yesterday, and it just kind of dawned on me, this guy. And the director of football is really, really important with this guy, I think, for me. And people might shout at me. I know will not like it because he doesn't like this guy. But as far as I'm concerned, I think it makes more sense. I think Graham Potter.
Stop it. Alex, stop. Oh my God.
I'm serious. I'm absolutely serious.
What's this guy ever done, Alex? What's he done?
But for me, I think Tottenham are that bad at the moment. We need to start again, right? And I think this guy can start a process off straight away. I think also it has to be a director of football, right? There has to be a director of football, right? I think Aranik would be perfect for him. Absolutely perfect for him.
We're not getting because I know that. Didn't take the job.
Well, I understand that, but the point is that you need again. I think there has to be Tottenham have to start from the ground up again, okay? Because I'm sorry, I don't listen to the rubbish that I hear from people saying, "Oh, if Harry Kane goes, we can get another player in." Because
why Potter, Alex? Alex, why Potter? Why Potter?
I think for me, he was decent at Brighton for what he was doing there. I think he knows a certain way of the right way of doing things. I think as well, he plays good football, and I think
Chelsea were awful, Alex. They were awful.
Yeah, but I don't think he was right for Chelsea.
Brighton finished 12th. De Zerbi took a weaker squad and got them to 5th, 6th.
Well, at the moment, Stelios, I think at the moment we need to start all over again because when you take out Harry Kane out of his squad,
Alex, sorry, separate the two. Separate starting a project again and who's the manager. Why Potter? What has he ever done to prove he can do this?
Well, I'm not saying he's proven anything, but the thing is, though, bro.
You said you want Potter.
No. But what the point I'm making is that he plays good football. Right, he's got a philosophy. He understands that, right? Okay, I think he could get a tune. He can start this all over again. This project, okay, because that's what we need to do. Okay, because as far as I'm concerned, most of those players need to go. Okay, even people like Kulusevski, I think we got to look at as well because as far as I'm concerned, he's switched off. Right, regardless what you say, he's switched off. Either you get players in that are similar to who's going to have the right chemistry with him, or don't have him here at all. I say the same thing about Bentancur. I say the same about most of the old players that we've got as well. And I'm even concerned about Udeji as well. I'm very concerned because he came in, he's bought in for Antonio Conte. Okay, he's coming in now. He's got no idea who's going to be in charge now, right? So for me,
plus he's a young kid as well, Alex.
That's the thing as well.
And the expectation already is like, oh, don't worry, at left back we've got Udogie.
Exactly.
He's a young kid, new league. He could be another Cess, right?
I don't get how Graham Potter's the one. I get everything else you're saying, but Graham Potter.
Listen,
Would
think we
Graham
need to-
Potter sorry, Alex, would Graham Potter be any different to
Ryan
what's
Mason.
his name? Well, no, not Ryan Mason.
Why not? They've both done the same thing.
Who's
I
the
think,
guy
guys,
who was manager of Liverpool?
Potter's an XG merchant. That's
Leicester.
it.
Leicester.
That's it.
Well,
Leicester's
listen,
manager.
listen. I
Brendan
don't
Rodgers.
listen to. I don't listen to HG rubbish. I mean, I'm sorry, but
That's
like
what
I said
Potter
before,
does.
you know, it's like me going to cells. I mean, it's like expected cells. If I don't get the cells, it makes no bloody difference. You know what I mean? So HG makes no difference in my lifetime at all. But my point is, you know, is that I think we need to start all over again. Okay, and I think
I agree with that.
And I think he would be able to start that project off. I think the most important thing is the director of football, because if it does go stale, I mean, you can move it on, and that's the whole point. You move it on quickly. You know what I mean? And that's it. You move it on with somebody else who's got similar philosophy, and that's it. That's what I'm trying to say at the moment.
Listen, the thought process of what you're saying, Alex, makes absolute sense. Start the project, and then the continuation from that first part of it continues. So it doesn't
Only
get broken
Slot could
up
do
and
that,
start
right?
all over again. I do
Anyone
feel.
but, Brendan Rodgers.
Listen, I think even the media, when I was
That's who I
reading
was thinking about.
the media earlier on, they're saying that we're looking to appoint a project manager. It's just, for me, it's just, I need to understand what a project manager means, because I don't often understand it. If it means scrapping it, laying the foundations, bringing it up for 2-3 years, and then the continuation of that very project gets taken over by the next manager who carries on that rather than breaks it, dismantling it, and starting again, then I'm okay. But it needs to be very clear. It needs to be I want to see like time scaling it, the vision of it, how much investment is going to be made in it. So if we're going to go down the young route, I need to be clear that that's what we're doing, and the next 2 or 3 managers are going to be part of that growth. If not,
I think either Brendan Rodgers or because I think they've got something to prove as well. That's the thing. I'm not. It was just something that I just thought of, and I need to do more research on him. I need to do more research on Brendan. I have to be honest as well. Okay, I don't like the manager from Brentford. I think he's done okay, but I've never really I've never really got too bothered about him. I'm not really too bothered about him. I've got to be honest. I'm not bothered about him. Arnold Slot, I think you can take a punt on him. That's it. I think the problem is that as well, and I don't really want to go on about Daniel Levy. You know what my feelings are on Daniel Levy, but the board is the problem. The board is the massive problem.
Without that change, Alex, without that change, it's never really going to trickle down into a long-term project.
I know this is but the problem is the board is as well, because the division in the board is a problem. That's a massive problem, right? Because that signals the whole thing downwards as well. Because what Expression? I mean, I don't watch DR Sports, but there was a clip on it, and because Expression said something, and to be honest with you, I don't really listen to him most of the time, but he said something very pertinent. He said, "Well, Daniel Levy wanted Pochettino, the others didn't." Now, for me, that's a problem, because when you've got division in that boardroom, well, when you get the manager in, there must be division about that manager as well. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, I think that the whole club needs to have a togetherness a little bit and start to realise
plan, strategy,
plan, and that's it.
That's what worries me at the moment.
Let me tell you something. Doesn't matter what the board think. Daniel Levy owns 30% of the shares. It's what Joe Lewis and Daniel Levy say. They have the final say. They can overrule the board at any point. It's their business. So if Poch didn't come, that's all on Levy and Joe Lewis. If they want to listen to the board over their own intuition, then they're not fit to run the football club. Facts. If you run a business and you own the majority of the shares and you can't make the right decisions, step down, fuck off, leave, sell up. Right? Reality check.
But there has been lots of news that Donna Cullen didn't want Poch back.
Who's she? Right? She's Levy's her boss.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to get into the political side because I do feel that sometimes we do get too political with Tottenham sometimes and talking about.
No, we're talking about facts of how decisions are made.
I understand, but
it's not politics.
My point is, I'm not having a go at you. I'm not having a go, but just I'm just
yeah,
like,
no, I'm just addressing when it's the board split.
That's Alex's job doing in the real world. You know what I mean? But my point is, my point is just like I just think at the moment this needs to be an idea what we want to be in the future, because for me, right, that's the only way forward for me, and that's it. Okay, I'm not liking some of the director of football that we're linked with. We've got one guy who looks like Prodigy 2.0 from Roma. Honestly, that looks like an absolute disaster waiting to happen, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, it just looks like a fly on the wall for me. I've got to be honest. On Aston Villa, the game against Aston Villa, like I said, what were you expecting? You know what I mean? I wasn't getting excited. I mean, look, like I said, I had nothing better to do, really. If I had something better to do, I wouldn't be watching it. I'd do what Kruger's doing, toys, turn off you Spurs. I bet he's having a good time right now, because I'll tell you right now, I'll be doing the same thing he's doing. You know what I mean? Because he's not learning nothing. Like I said, everyone's getting angry about Højbjerg and Skip. I said they were bang average. You know what I mean? I said the defense is absolutely average. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I've switched off after the cup final, the FA Cup, because they've proven to me they're not good enough. And I wasn't even liking the team anyway. I can't even believe that, because I was arguing with Sava, and I was like, because he said to me, "Why did you expect them to get into the final of the FA Cup?" I said, "Well, sorry, but when you've got Harry Kane and Song, and we're bigging them up so much, right? That was your moment. That was your moment, yeah, to make yourselves known, yeah, and you didn't do it, and that's it. So, it's more
Well,
for
you got
me
to be
to
beating
believe.
Sheffield, didn't you, to get to the
Yeah,
next
that's
round?
the point. That's the point I'm making.
That's
the
just
point I'm
simple.
making.
It's
But
not even
at the
a
moment,
debate.
at the moment, I'm not going to moan about this anymore. I need to try and think about scenarios. Yeah, because the fact is, solutions. Because at the end of the day, everyone can bang on about, oh, we should forget about Pochettino. Well, Daniel Levy hasn't given us a reason to forget about Pochettino. Yeah, and no one's going to forget. No one's going to forget him still. Yeah, right. No one's going to shut up about him, because it's going to make it worse.
But hold on. But we haven't given a reason to Daniel Levy to do something about that. We continue to go to the stadium and pack it out. We continue to go to the club shop and pack it out. We continue to support the club even when it's going to shit, and this owner's creating it to shit. So I get what you're saying, Alex. You're right. Levy hasn't given us a reason not to want Poch back, but we haven't given a reason to Levy to bring Poch back either.
Yeah, I listen. Okay, I understand what you're saying, but the point I'm making is that whether or not, because at the end of the day, I'm just a fan. Yeah, right. So I'm allowed to feel the way I'm feeling at the end of the day. Yeah, because I can't do nothing about the team. Yeah, right. I can't go up there and tell Højbjerg you're absolutely bang average. Yeah, because I'll get arrested. Yeah, because I'm not allowed to be near the players. Yeah. So my point is, people saying to me, "Get over Poch." Yeah, that's not my problem. Yeah, my problem is the problem is with Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy should have done more to get us over Poch, because if he'd done something after Poch and gave us a manager that was doing better than Poch, played better football than Poch, we wouldn't be talking about Pochettino, wouldn't we? We wouldn't be talking about him. We wouldn't be doing it.
Daniel Levy doesn't have to do a damn thing whilst fans pack out that stadium. He doesn't have to do anything.
I understand, but the point is, unfortunately, Stelios, they're still going to pack out the stadium, are they? You know what I mean? I don't want to get into that argument.
So then we need to stop saying Levy needs to do this and that.
Well, but that's my point. That is my point. I'm not going to get into that point, because at the end of the day, that's null and void, me saying that now about the fans, because that's like a piece of string, isn't it? You know what I mean? But that is, I think at the moment, for me, it's pointless saying, "Oh, we're going to get another. We'll have other players after Kane and stuff like that." Because when Bell left, we still survived. When Sheringham left, we still survived. Well, I'm sorry. We got rubbish strikers. We got rubbish strikers like Postiga, Rebrov, Fraser Campbell, Pavlyuchenko. You know what I mean? Who can shoot for a barn door?
They're all better.
You know what I mean?
They're all better than Richarlison.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. So I'm sorry, I don't agree with that either.
I think the only thing I'd like to say to you, Alex, is like, out of everything you just said, while I agree with you, you like, you kind of just said, oh, like, I'm just a fan, and like, it feels as if you can't do anything, but you're more than just a fan. That club's in your life, right? That club's in your veins. You go there every week. It means more than you. It means more than you're just a fan, and like, you can't do anything about it, and just happy to accept it, right?
No,
you must be frustrated and boiling inside. I hear
listen,
you on every stream. You're pissed off about the way it is that happening at the minute.
Listen, JP. If I want to make myself known, I'll make myself known. You know how Mr. Box Off in the main event works, bro. But at the same time, there's only so much you can do. You know what I mean? Like I said, all through my lifetime, I've been a Tottenham fan. All I've known is Carabao Cups and disappointment. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's no different. It's no different. The only thing that's different is that we've got streams now that make this heighten this whole drama of the whole thing about being in the Premier League now. You know what I mean? So for me, you know, it's no different to what I've known Tottenham before. The only difference is that we've had Pochettino, and he's brought us to heights of what we've never done before. You know what I mean? In our lifetime, in my lifetime. You know what I mean? Now, if you were living in the 1960s and 1980s, you would have seen better than you would have seen before. You know, silverware.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the moment, if you're like a fan that was a Tottenham fan since 1998, since after Jerry Francis got sacked and then Crystal Krosgate came in, you ain't really known that much. You know what I mean? So you know, you just learn. At the end of the day, you know,
you haven't experienced that thrill yet of
I haven't experienced that
thrill
and
seeing them lift the
and I think
trophy.
Unfortunately for me, and it's a big unfortunate for me, is that because of enjoying the football with Martin Jol, Harry Redknapp, and Pochettino, I've only known that sort of way, and I've not really known anything else now. And because now people want to win so quickly now, and there's so much wanting to be better than other fans, banter everybody else. I think the whole thing about actually having an identity, recognizing what you actually enjoy about football, you know what I mean?
Alex,
it's completely going lost, and that's it for me.
You just said people want to win so quickly. I've waited 23 years under these owners.
Yeah, listen, I
don't want it quick.
I understand.
I waited for the first 10 years. I've waited for the second 10 years, and now I'm 3 years into the third 10 years. It's not quick. It's not happening. And and fans, I think, like yourself, you don't get it. You think it can happen with these owners. You still don't get it.
Listen,
it's not happening with these owners, bro.
I'm not arguing
so this
with you
thing
about
a reset, a restart, new manager, the director. It's not going to work with them. But this ownership has. If this ownership, Alex, right? Let's go along with the thinking that this ownership's going to change its ways, right? Let's pretend they're going to do that. Why have they allowed Pochettino and Nagelsmann, two proven good managers with these kinds of resources, playing good football, getting teams progressing forward? Why haven't they gone for one of them before everyone else gets a dibs? Whilst we're now still in the position where they're not in jobs and we can get them. They haven't done it. They haven't even spoken to Poch.
You know what?
They've cut off hold on, right? They've cut off Nagelsmann. Why have we got to wait until the end of the season for Scott Munn to come in? Who is Scott Munn? He's a nobody. Why haven't we got a director of football in for what Chelsea have done is they've said, we're going to get Poch in now. You come at the end of the season, but we want you now. Have a look at the squad. Start thinking what's going to work. Tell us which we're going to keep, which we're going to get rid of, what else we need. Let's start now so that when we get to the start of the season, we'll be ready.
Ground running.
Instead at Tottenham, we're regressing. The competition are pulling away from us. Villa and Brighton are now better than Tottenham. And you're out there making videos day number 50. Day number 51. There is no change coming. It is deluded. I don't know what else I can say on this anymore.
listen, I agree with you. The fact that we haven't got a manager, I'm worried as well. Yeah, I'm worried because I wouldn't be doing day 50, day 51, day 52. I wouldn't be
That's
doing
my
it.
point. Yeah.
But I am worried. I'm very worried, very concerned. Yeah, I mean, I think we should be trying to get, and good on Poch. Yeah, I don't. You know what? Whether I wanted him back or not, I think it's good for him to go to Chelsea anyway to prove himself at a club. But he needs to do it for himself. You know what I mean? And so yeah, it's the right move for him. I think it's the perfect club for him. The players he's got as well. So it will hurt because he had I had a connection with him. But at the same time, he's gone and he's going to do what? And I don't think he's a Judas because we sacked him. So as far as I'm concerned, he's no Judas. No
He'll
disrespect to
probably
anybody that
win the
believes it.
title at White Hart Lane. Don't worry.
Well,
Probably
it is what it is. It's I've seen worse. I've seen worse. So I mean, it's not like it's anything different anyway. So
Alex, do you know what the best thing would be? Is if Pochettino won the league with Chelsea, and at the end of the year, there's just this photo of Bowley and all the team with the cup in their hands, and the title of it is just "See what happens when you back a manager," and that's it. That would be the ultimate troll to Daniel Levy.
Yeah,
it might actually he probably still wouldn't care, but that would just be hilarious.
Well, at the end of the day,
or see what, or Jim Bowen just going, see what you could have won.
Look at what you could have won.
But
I mean,
for me,
the only people feeling the pain is the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
JP, our fans are idiots, man. They're in the stands. Rather than backing the manager, rather than backing Conte and saying we want Levy out, we want Levy out, all the pressure on him. You got Conte in the dugout. You got Conte in the dugout, and our fans are singing "He's magic." Mauricio Pochettino. Is he magic? Because he's not coming. So all them fans that sang another manager's name whilst we had a manager, all them fans are in the fucking mud now. Because you'd rather sing another manager's name than turn against the chairman who isn't backing the manager, who we've got now, who is elite and who hasn't had a chance to build the team he wants yet. And then that manager you sang goes to our arch rivals, and rightly so, because we didn't want to talk to him. Good luck to Poch. At the end of the day, he would have come to us in a heartbeat if we went back to him. But he's like, do you know what? I'm not waiting on you lot. You're taking the piss. You took the piss out of me before. You're doing it again. Fuck you. I've got an offer there. They're prepared to do it my way. I'm going to go there. And all those fans who sang his name in the mud, man.
But Conte's never going to work, though.
I 100% agree with you. I just don't want to see him lifted. I don't want to see that picture. Do you know what I mean?
I think. Listen. If it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean?
It will happen.
It will happen, but I just don't want to see it, Alex.
The thing is, though, the difference is, and I don't want to say I don't want to harp on too much about him, but the point is,
Harry Kane will be their striker. Imagine that. Imagine Harry Kane goes there now. Imagine. I think that deal's on. I think that's on definitely. I can tell you that for a fact. But my point is that I don't even know if Poch wanted to come, to be honest with you. I don't even know if he wanted to come because really, we never spoke to him. We don't know.
Well, we're in a hiding to nothing, really, aren't we?
We never spoke to him.
We're hiding into nothing because the thing is, though, when he's already had his first rodeo with Daniel Levy, would he really want to go again? And go for that again? I don't think so.
Fair point.
But he did say though. He has says that he has got unfinished business with us.
That's true.
And to be fair, how long has the guy been out of work since he left PSG?
Yeah, he was waiting.
It seems like a lifetime.
He was waiting. I tell you,
it's true. He's been there for ages.
Why would someone not snap? This is the only question I have about Pochettino. I don't question that he's
still
a
wears
good manager,
Spurs
but he's been out of work for so long. Why is someone else not? Why is another big club not snapped him up? I don't get it.
Yeah.
If Levy has had no contact with him whatsoever, why has someone else not snapped him up?
Do you know what? I was with someone from. He's an agent. He's a football agent today by chance. Don't ask me how I met him. And we were talking, and he does business with Spurs, and he's a Spurs fan as well. And he said to me, "What do you think about the club?" And I thought, I'm going to be careful what I say because I don't want him to know I've got this channel. Because if he comes and sees this channel, he might want to cut ties with me because I'm fucking, I'm full on. So we got talking, and he said to me that when Poch left Spurs, it wasn't on as good terms as a lot of fans think. And in fact, there was a falling out between Levy and Poch. They might talk to each other as professionals, but in terms of actually having a really good bond, it's not what it used to be. And he was explaining it to me. So maybe Alex and Lee, maybe that's why they never contacted Poch, because they would have had to have fixed that relationship, and to fix that, I think they would have had to said sorry to him. Do you see Daniel Levy and Don McCullum, the kind of people that say sorry? They're the kind of people that say sorry.
Levy. So to me, then this whole documentary and that thing that was done, then Levy's just basically playing up for the cameras, because he specifically
100%.
said 100. But this was the hardest decision I have to make. We had a personal relationship, and I hope once once everything is blown over, we can get back to where we were before, which what I understand is basically your family gatherings, going on holiday together, all this kind of stuff. So it's just absolutely, it just shows how much bullshit there is. If other people say, well, no, that relationship wasn't as good as people are making it out to be by the end of it.
Poch said he had lemons in his office when Levy came in. The lemons like shriveled up.
Yeah, that was weird, man. Listen, don't forget,
lemons was a metaphor for something else.
It just shows you.
Lemons is a metaphor for our starting 11. So for our starting 11.
But it just shows you. It just shows you that it's just so messed up, really, for me. You know what I mean? And I just think for me, it's just that we're in big trouble next season. We are in massive trouble next season.
Listen, Daniel
I don't disagree with you, Alex. I've come to the realization that we'll be fighting to get in the top half of the table next season. If nothing happens quick and we don't get someone in, it's not. We're going to be worse because no one's going to come to us. Who wants to come to us?
It's not even just that, Lee. It's not even just that, Lee. It's just that if you think that this squad is going to survive for next season, you got another thing coming.
No,
because
it's
the fact,
not. I agree.
Because the thing is, though, I keep on what I say.
I think the Kane contract is key.
They've got
Harry Kane's
no
contract is key
partnerships
to the season.
whatsoever. There's no partnerships in this team whatsoever. You've got Højbjerg and Skip that are just defensive, and that's it, right? You've got Song and Kane, yeah, that is waning. It is waning, that partnership. Whether it's class, it's still waning because there's only so much they can do. Yeah, they're getting older, and that's it. You know what I mean? And people are going to start figuring them out anyway. You know what I mean? Aston Villa gave us opportunities because they were playing the high line, but they played it really well. You know what I mean? But other teams will figure it out, and there's only so much they can do. You know what I mean? So
whoever just put that comment, Alex, just the comment just a couple of minutes back, a couple of seconds back that you put up there, the fans that were singing his name are now going to booing his name. That's what those fans should be doing is not booing his name. They should be fucking booing Levy for not giving him a fucking phone call. That's who you should be booing, not fucking Pochettino. Honestly, I watched the thing earlier where the people going, "Oh, he's a Judas" and all this kind of stuff. Pochettino owes us nothing. We shafted him, not the other way around.
But we've got Chris Cowley going on Sky Sports telling them that he's frustrated, and actually Ryan Mason should be given a chance.
Well, listen, I'm not going to say nothing about Chris Cowley.
No one asked you to. No one asked you to.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything about Sava.
So don't say nothing. So don't say nothing.
I'm not going to get in there.
You want to say something, so don't say something. Yeah,
good,
I never asked you to speak.
Yeah, good.
By the way, Alex, do you know what? There was a question for you actually earlier. Stelios, can you please ask Alex how the hell he got an invite on a live stream on Chris Callaghan's show? I've told George before, because you're a different person on that show. You're not the real Alex. The real Alex comes on our shows. I don't know why, but
I was real on there, man. I was
Get
real
out
on
here.
there, man.
What are you talking about?
On there,
what
man.
are you trying to kid, man?
I was real on there.
There was no
man.
rant, and back to you, Chris.
There's none of that. Back to you, none of that.
I was real on there, man.
He's on there like this. Good evening, everyone. How are you? Hello.
I wasn't good evening.
I say.
I wasn't good evening.
Oh yes, Chris.
If you don't know, you should get to know.
Why is Iggy so quiet, man? What's going on, Bob?
I'm listening to you guys. I'm listening to you guys.
What's Iggy got cooking right now, Bob? He's got something cooking for me, man. He wants to cook me today, isn't he? What's going on today, Bob?
No.
I'm only joking.
Let me get some super chats done.
It's just an absolute. It's what more can be said about this club that hasn't been covered by what you guys have said and what I've said.
Iggy, let me do the super chats and I'll come to you because they've been piling up. I'll come to you, I promise you, because I've been sitting here for about half an hour. Big up to A user. Good evening, panel. Hope you're well this evening. You too. Thank you, my man. Why are we talking managers? Levy, no change, making no difference. Yeah, we just discussed that. Thanks again for the super chat, though. Soundboy says, what's more deluded? Thinking Levy will sell the club or thinking that we can build an ethos philosophy under ENIC? Probably both. I mean, I think probably both.
There's probably more chance of thinking that he'll sell the club than there's going to be a chance of him building an ethos.
Yeah, probably, because they're not going anywhere, are they? Unless someone offers 10 billion, but that's not going to happen. Oh, by the way, Will Stewart, sorry, I forgot to answer your question. I will play Lo Celso in a 4-2-3-1 in the middle of the three, or if we went 4-3-3, the left side of the three. That's what I would do with Lo Celso, because that's how he played best under Mourinho, and that's how he played for Argentina.
I don't think Lo Celso should come back. I don't think Lo Celso should come back.
He is coming back. They're all coming back, Alex. We ain't got a choice.
They're all back, Alex.
I think they should sell him because for me, I think it summed it up before he left. He wasn't happy here. I don't see the point of bringing him back if he's not going to be happy here. I think, like I said, this whole club needs to be reset, and that's it. The whole recruitment side needs to be. This is why I think people like Graham Potter will be great for Tottenham. You know what I mean? I think Graham Potter would be great for Tottenham. By the way, I don't chase after people. I make myself known with people, bruv. You know what I mean? So that's how it is every single time, man. You know what I mean? Because that's how Mr. Box Office does every single time. You know what I mean? By the way, I'm still waiting for that invite from the We Are Tottenham TV for the panel show. By the way, I'm still not happy with them. By the way, because I still haven't made myself known on that one.
That's it.
Tell them that. Why don't you tell them that?
I'm not happy about that.
Dig them out on our channel. Put us in the mud. Go on, put us in the mud. Yeah.
Why are you telling us that? You should be telling them that.
I've told them that already.
I hope when you go on Chris Callen's show, you call out Ben and Sim on Chris's show as well, Alex. Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely boys, though.
Oh yeah. There's the recovery.
Lovely boys, though.
Go. You know what? It's one of them ones where he goes like Christian Romero style challenge, takes them out, and then he goes and attacks them. Goes, "You're all right, bruv. Get up, come on, man."
Lifts him up.
By the way,
honestly,
when you invite Box Office, you can invite Tottenham away as well. We haven't had an invite either, so
yeah. I've been on.
Oh, let's make it about
I'm not the Star Trek.
I'm just saying, I've been on. I'm just responding in merit. I've been on. You haven't been on, and you haven't, and you over there haven't been on.
Where's he gone?
I haven't touched
feelings
anything.
now.
I haven't touched anything. I swear.
Do you think Chris Callen WhatsApped him?
Yeah. Going to polish his shoes.
Or maybe the boys themselves.
You're not allowed back on my
show. He's gone to iron his cravat.
Yeah, Ben and Sim just said we're going live in 5. Look at it.
What did you get a text from Ben?
This guy, man,
I don't know what happened there. It may be my curfew, man. It might be my curfew. That's it, maybe. You know what I mean? So
listen, so we lost to Villa. We've gone from 4th to 7th since sacking Conte. We mudded Mourinho. We mudded Conte. Unai Emery is absolutely proven us to be bottle jobs. Poch, Sky Sports did the breaking news. He's off to Chelsea. TalkSport even mentioned that he's off to Chelsea as well. We've said no to Nagelsmann.
Just on that, while you've got that Pochettino thing out, don't you think it's very coincidental that they didn't announce it until mathematically Chelsea couldn't be relegated? But before that, when there was mathematically it was still possible, it all went very quiet. Very, very quiet.
What was
Probably
the
using-
reason? What was the reason to the delay of the announcement? I wonder.
What
Well,
Lee
still
So
just
they were
not
said.
officially
mathematically
been done.
possible that they couldn't get
seriously?
relegated.
No, I
It
don't
does-
believe. That.
Listen,
I don't believe that.
listen. That before the last match, before they won the last match, mathematically they could still be relegated if all the teams below them won their matches and they lost all their matches. It was a possibility, but now they've won. They won a match. They can't be caught now. They can't. There's enough points and enough games for they're completely safe for like a draw or something like that. And then all of a sudden that match goes, and then there's an announcement. It's just a random.
Game
Oh yeah, now it is.
One game a week for Chelsea next season, and Poch is going to
be up there,
They'll
mate.
probably win the league. They'll probably win the league.
Oh, wicked! We got Margot Robbie, A-lister Hollywood actress. Big ups to
Hey,
you.
welcome.
Thanks for joining the show.
Posh,
Even though-
posh office. Not
Even though
box
you're a fake
office. She's
account.
posh. Not box office.
Posh
She's posh office.
Posh office. Yeah, so we had the announcement of Poch going to Chelsea. Things got worse when the negotiations with Nagelsmann have broken down. Clearly, he's got standards that Spurs aren't prepared to meet. This man, De Zerbi's absolutely tearing it up. We're not going to get him. And then all this led to memes of Tottenham has fallen, taking a mick on the movie Olympus Has Fallen. Something I spotted today, which I thought was quite interesting actually, was this. Alistair Gold did a show the other day, quite a good one actually, fair play to Alistair. But someone put in the comments, Alistair, can you shed some light on what the point of getting into such debt to build a game-changing stadium when clearly the only thing that's changed is the owner's income? We've regressed since we've built the stadium. We've not competed financially with anyone at the top level. I cite West Ham as a case, a smaller club with poor owners and Conference League football who are spending more than us in the summer. Is it now time to admit to ourselves we were sold a lie? Now, I also saw Sava did a video actually yesterday or today or the day before talking about how we've been lied to by Enoch and Levy. Guys, are we now at that point where Levy and Enoch have just sold us a fucking lie?
Well,
when
they've sold
this
us
year,
a
last
lie.
year, the year before.
Well,
They've sold us a lie.
The game-changing
saying
stadium,
all
right?
of the money will go back into the team, right? When we get a bigger stadium, we'll have more clout and we'll be able to go and permanently be in the Champions League and play Tottenham-style football and all of that bull crap, right? All of that money from didn't we see when we were looking at the accounts? All of the money from the fights and the previous concerts that have been held were going to Tottenham Hotspur Entertainment Limited.
Yeah, we also don't know where all the money is yet because they go into the following year's accounts, so it's not conclusive. But I think for me, when they say game changing, that means we're going to change the way we operate. But the club is still interfering with transfers. They're still meddling by not giving managers enough time. 5 managers in 4 seasons, 17 managers in 23 years. What's changed?
We're getting players on loan.
Paratici, who everyone called the Don. Well, the only thing he's cooking are the omelettes in prison. Conte mudded the club. Ryan Mason's struggling. What's changed? We still haven't got a manager for next season. You know, Alex, day 50. Well, day 51 now. We're 1 hour away from day 51.
What Levy's basically done is dressed up a tramp in a very fashionable hat, but he's still got piss on his shoes. That's what he's basically done.
Camouflage.
That's what it is. It's you know. Well, I think we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. What would you rather have, a fucking $1 billion debt fucking stadium, or stuck to the White Hart Lane with X amount of fans in the club, but all of that money got invested into a team that won something? I mean, it's all for show. Look at the size of my bollocks compared to yours.
Do you know what I mean? It was all. The thing is starting to become more clear for me that this stadium was just purely built for the events.
Absolutely, I don't disagree with you.
That's all it was. It was never about making Tottenham better. It was never for the benefit of the club. It was never about anything to do with the footballing side of it. This stadium was built to absolutely make it a cash cow, because having a game there once every fortnight wasn't enough. Now we can have Spurs playing home, they can be away, and there will always be events at Spurs. There will always be activity. There's always be something going on at Tottenham Hotspur, even in the off season, during the season, and whenever Spurs are away. Listen. Someone wrote earlier on that the SummerSlam WWE for
Pig in a Versace dress. Oh my god!
Someone wrote down that WWE for 2024 SummerSlam is already being booked.
Simon.
All the best events in London are no longer taking place at Wembley. They're taking place at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
It's like he's trying to take it away from him.
He's taking it away from Wembley, and it's all happening at Tottenham Hotspur. So someone convinced me otherwise that this stadium was built to make Tottenham better. It hasn't. It's just made it the most least important thing happening in that stadium now. And unfortunately, the soul is the club has lost its soul. It sold its soul years ago, and to think that we're going to expect anything different under this ownership is absolutely in denial.
Do you know what a strange thing is, Ziggy? And I see people saying, "Oh, but if we get new owners, you don't know what they're going to be like." Is it going to be any worse than this?
I think you've got to try and. I think you have to risk it. I think, unfortunately, you got to risk it because
if
I
you
think
carry on going down this, if you carry on going down this road, Alex, you're going to get the same thing, aren't you?
Yeah, I think unfortunately at the moment, I think it's the devil you know or the devil you don't know. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, I think
after 23 years, I'd rather
I
go
think
with
I
the
know.
one I don't.
I think at the end of the day, I think I was going to do a video on it, but this is the thing. I struggle with this
Do it
sort of
now.
thing.
Do it live.
No, I would. I'm just going to say it out here. I just think I think we have to just risk it and just see what is there. You know what I mean? Because I just don't feel that they actually understand it. Because the thing is, though, when you look at Everton, the situation, I just don't see them any different to Tottenham Hotspur.
Alex, Chelsea were in a bad place. Ken Bates bought them for £1.
Yeah.
And look at them now. So for like there's a good and the bad stories like all the time, isn't there?
Exactly.
And as opposed to focusing on look at Newcastle 15 years ago, they went all the way down. Look at Man City. What happened to them? They went all the way down to Division 3 or whatever it was. But you have to, rather than stagnating and for us to just be literally a cash cow, I'm at that point now that, do you know what?
JP, to be honest with you, JP, can I just be honest with you? Sorry to interrupt you.
Of course, man. You always are.
I'm just bored. I'm bored of talking about Levy anyway. I'm just bored of it. I want to just see some good football now. You know what I mean?
How are you proposing to see good football?
Well, this is the thing. I don't know. I've got no idea. I haven't got the answers. But the thing is, though, Iggy.
The thing is, I know I'm not expecting you to have the answers. I'm saying that if we don't want to talk about what the issue is at this club, I don't want to talk about Lee because I'm fed up of it. But he is the prime reason as to why all the other things.
You're not seeing good football.
You're not seeing
it. Yeah, I agree with you.
It goes hand in hand, and you can't shirk away from the main issue of this club, and expect to see all this good stuff happening at Spurs when the main obstacle of it all happening is right there.
I hear you, Iggy, but Iggy, there's only so many times I can say the same thing every single time.
I hear you.
You get what I'm saying?
Totally. I get it. I get it.
You know when Mr. Box Office is saying the same thing every single time, it just gets boring, doesn't it? You know what I mean? It's like it's like seeing the same. It's like seeing the same movie. And you've seen it twice or 3 times, 4 times, 5 times.
I agree, Alex.
And it just gets boring, doesn't it?
So then say,
but Alex, it's more entertaining than watching Højbjerg and Skip play together. So keep it up, son.
to be honest with you, though,
just really
I don't expect.
You're right.
I don't expect next season to be any different to this season. My last roll of the dice, or whatever you want to call it, for me, was when we appointed Conte. I thought if this doesn't happen here now with Conte, even after the whole Jose Mourinho and Pochettino, I thought this is the one. I honestly thought I'm going to put my eggs in this basket, and if it happens under this, it has to happen. Trophy-wise, I'm talking about. My hopes completely went. The lights switched off. Everything. I checked out for the season. In my heart, I did. Every game I watch Spurs, though, I always do the same thing. I always support the team. I hope that they get a result. But if I'm in my hearts of hearts, honestly, the moment that post Southampton speech happened, and then what followed, we parted ways about 10 days later. We didn't even do it straight away, and I just thought to myself, this is going to be the downfall of Tottenham for this season. And I know that from moment onwards, the moment that we didn't appoint somebody else the next day after Conte left, we was done for the season. So I'm at peace with that. I don't even get. I said it in this morning's video. I'm not even. I wasn't even angry after the game. I'm past the anger stage. I'm just because when you've seen something being played, like you said, a film, when you've seen it played once or twice, 3 times, you know what's going to happen. So for me, next season, to expect to see better players, to expect to see a better team, to expect to see a manager that's going to start all this up again under this ownership, I'm not gonna be down for that. Like I said, I'll always want Spurs to do well. I'll always cheer for them no matter what. But to expect something different to happen when the same director that's filming it is the same, giving us the same old shit year after year, and charging more. The prices have gone up. The membership fees, their season token, all of that's all gone up.
Same shit actors.
And what is he providing us? How is that even justified? Is beyond me. This guy has got no face. He's got the fucking balls on him to do that. And there's no one there to say, you know what, fuck this. Enough is enough. Nothing. We don't even oppose as a fan base. We don't even oppose to say, hang on a minute, how can you be putting the prices up? You're already charging number one prices in the world football, and you're giving us this. What product are you providing for us to be spending even more money on it? And unfortunately, is in customer, in any line of work, you as a consumer, as a customer, can say, do you know what? Thank you, but no thank you. I'm going somewhere else. But because he knows he's got us by the balls, because when it comes to the matters of the team, it's all a matter of heart. Once you support one team, that's it. He knows he's got you. So now you can make a choice. Go or not to go. But don't go expecting something different when nothing's happened in the process.
Listen, I feel the same way as you, Iggy. I know nothing's going to change.
I wouldn't go. Like, say if you go to the stadium next season, don't go there and say, "Oh, same old shit all over again." Of course, you're going to be seeing the same old shit. So don't be upset about seeing the same old shit.
Look, Iggy, I'm not. Iggy, you know what I'm like, bro. I got flat last season. Yeah, I had somebody that tapped out of a debate with me, and you know who that was. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden now they don't turn up now to the stadium now because it's too embarrassing for them now. Yeah. So it's like, well, you know who I'm talking about. But anyway, we're not gonna go there.
Okay,
well, that's your words, not my words. My point is, you know what I mean? You know, it's like I said before. You know, it's you can say whatever you want, but it's like I said I wasn't rating it because I'm not a silly little kid anymore. You know what I mean? I'm not someone that lives in dreamland anymore. You know, I'm not an idiot. You know, I might be an idiot in love, yeah, but I'm not an idiot watching my football team because I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm getting there. You know what I mean? So I'm sort of.
You saying you don't love Spurs?
Huh? Oh,
No one's an idiot.
We won't
no
go
one's
there.
an idiot.
We won't go there. My love for soca music. My love for soca music.
60, 70,
I was talking about
50, 60, 70, 80 pounds a ticket to go and watch something that you've already seen a season before, or worse even.
Yeah.
You can't. And for those of you guys, I've seen many of you saying I'm not renewing. I hate Marmite.
That's what
you're saying you're not
though.
renewed. You say you're not even renewed. What I will say to you guys is think about not renewing. But I'm saying you can renew, but just sell your tickets all the time, because I don't want you guys to be in a position one day when these guys are fucked off, eventually have gone, and you not be in position to have a season ticket to then go and watch your team play. By having that season ticket, you are giving yourself a possibility of seeing once guys are going to go back there again. If you give it up, you're going to be, I don't know, man, where down the list you're going to be before you are able to go there to see them in a season ticket holder base. Unless you don't mind going once in a blue moon again, like I do. I'm not a season ticket holder. I pay my ticket and I go and watch it whenever I want. But for me to say I'm going to go next year, spend 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds, depending on who I'm watching, the opposition wise, and expect something different when nothing is taking place from now, it's my fault. I would have just parted away with my money to go and watch the same shit again. If it's mind blowing. It's upsetting as well. I say this upset. I don't say it like with any. I say upset because I don't know what it's going to take to get these fucking guys out of this club. I really don't.
It's going to take our fans to stop being pussies because that's what we are. Alex, I'm going to come to you. No, you can comment on it. It's fine. Let me do the super chat. I'll use a big respect to you for the super chat. Levy Lewis, don't give a toss. We can't see it happen before. We can see it happening before our eyes. All teams that finished mid-table to bottom half of the table and now pass us while we are heading down. Spot on. And we've got this game-changing stadium. Yeah, Alex, when I say our fans are pussies, what it means is I'm just being rude when I should be a bit more polite and be saying they're cowards, they're placid, they're bottle jobs. I think our fans are bottle jobs. So, I mean, look, if you disagree, feel free. But the amount of fans I
wouldn't say that. I can't say that.
When I see thousands of fans saying Levy out, ENIC out, booing Levy on a match day, we want Levy out, get out of our club. When I see everyone moaning, I look at all the YouTube channels moaning, complaining, and doing nothing about it. It's a bit like people that write a letter of complaint, and that's it. I've written my complaint.
Moaning doesn't do absolutely anything, guys. It doesn't. Yeah, all I'm saying is,
I'll take back the pussy comment. I shouldn't have said that.
No,
what I mean is,
pussies is not the right word.
What I mean is spineless bottle jobs, weak, placid, all those things.
For me, it's like just accepting it because when you're not protesting, when you're not showing your discontent towards this club and what it's doing to the soul of this football club, to how it's become an events space where it just holds every so often it holds Tottenham Hotspur playing in it. It's like the club, the football team is now guest. It's like we've become a guest in that stadium. We go there whenever Tottenham are present. Outside of that, that stadium's got other things going on, and it's like, and that's the part. I just don't know what it could take to have a vast majority of these fans that go to present, 62,000 fans present at every Tottenham Hotspur game. That is a fact, man. And we probably have, 150, 100 people outside to showing their discontent towards this club and how it's run and what's happening. I think that's really poor, man. Any way, which way you want to look at it. And I'm not talking about the fans that live far away from the club, overseas or just away from London or whatever. I'm talking about 62,000 fans present every week, and we only have 50, 100 people that show their discontent.
They can't all be happy. They can't all be happy.
They're clearly not happy.
I think. Listen. This is difficult because I think for me at the moment, I don't really want to go to there because I think fans are fans because they just go for the entertainment and that's it. I know they don't get entertained. I know not get entertained, but at the end of the day, they go to see their friends and that's it. I think that's it for me. I mean, for me, I'm more. Listen, I can't really get into the fan thing because for me, it is what it is. You know what I mean with the fans. And they.
What do you mean? It is what it is. What does that mean?
Well, I don't really. I'm trying to be diplomatic about it because I don't really want to get into it. Really.
Where's that getting us? Where's that getting us?
Yeah, but still, there's only so much you can do, really. But
when you were Conte out, and when you were Nuno out, and when you were Jose out, you weren't diplomatic then.
Yeah, but that's just my point. But the point is, I want to try and keep it on the football. My point is that my worry is
Football's been shit for 5 years.
It's rubbish. It is rubbish. But the thing that it depresses me is that because I'm done moaning still. I'm done moaning. I'm
All right,
done
let me ask you a
moaning.
question, Alex. Let me ask you a question.
Look
I'm
at
done
this
moaning.
comment real quick.
I'm not having a go.
Look
I'm
at
not
this
having a go at
comment.
you guys. I'm not having a go.
£25
I
to
know. We know, Alex. We know.
£33.50. £25 to £33.50. We can't talk about these guys, but this guy is quite happy to put this membership up at £8.50. It's quite happy to do that, man.
It's
no
wrong.
fucks
It's
given
wrong.
either.
It's wrong.
No
But the
fucks
point,
given.
I
And
know,
I have to
but
care about what people think, and I don't. But I'll speak my mind, and I'll say exactly how it is.
Iggy,
That's why don't be scared don't be scared to offend either.
Yeah,
Don't
I
ever
hear you,
speak
Iggy.
your
Iggy,
mind.
you can, Iggy. I respect you, bruv. You know I respect you, bro. Yeah, we might have our outbursts sometimes, but
You're saying Chris Cowling TV.
You know I respect you, yeah. You know I respect you, yeah.
This is Tottenham
right?
away.
And you're the Italian expert all day long, yeah, bro. Yeah, right. And respect you, you know, acknowledge you as well. Mr. Box Office acknowledge you, yeah. But just,
Acknowledge.
but my point is though, yeah. It's just that I just can't bother anymore, Iggy, with it. You know what I mean? I just want my Tottenham Hotspur back, bro. You know what I mean? I want to actually come to
get it back?
I
do we
don't
get it
know.
back with these owners,
I've got no idea. I've got no idea.
I've told you what to do.
But
I've told you what to do.
But my point is that I just want my Tottenham Hotspur back, like, Bob. You know what I mean? I just want to see some beautiful football.
I'm not even suggesting by protesting that we're necessarily going
It's
to get
going to
it back.
make it all better, yeah.
I'm not saying that's the way forward. I'm saying if somebody's got a better idea how to go about this, then I'll be all ears. Because what I can't accept, man, is just accepting like fucking an £8.50 rise on a membership, increases on prices of season ticket holders. Just accepting, and just say, do you know what? It don't matter. I paid 60 quid to go and watch a game of football. Next year it might be 78. Who cares? What does it matter? The cost of living prices. What the fuck is that? Let's go, man. It's like, and to be served, and the thing is, you see the movement of the league. You see the Brightons. You see the Newcastles. You see, forget Man City, Man United.
Guys,
Liverpool.
can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question, Iggy.
Everything around you is moving, and you're going down and down and down.
Iggy, you've raised a really good point. Listen, you've raised a really good point here, actually. We were talking about Brighton earlier on. We're saying, you know, what a brilliant job the Seagulls have done, and you know, hats off to De Zerbi. You know, hats off to him. He's proving to be a real superstar in the making. What have Brighton done in a very short space of time that we have failed to do, which has allowed a small club on the South Coast, let's be honest, overtake the sixth biggest club, arguably, in England, and a team that got to Champions League finals, almost challenged for a league title. It's got one of the best stadium in world football, arguably. How have Brighton done that in a short space of? Is it just the manager? Is that all it is? We've just hired the wrong manager every single time. Is that what it is? Is Conte? Is De Zerbi better than Conte? Is De Zerbi better than Mourinho? Is De Zerbi better than Poch? Or is it a case of there's something else going on here?
I think it's personally, I would say it's the setup, isn't it? The setup, the plan, the philosophy that they've laid down. I remember, I think it was Rio he had an interview with somebody, and they were. I think this was even before Potter came, or maybe just before Potter went there, and he was literally saying, "We know we want Brighton to play a style of football, right? Ideally, if you're looking at a game of football from an aerial point of view, be it the under 16s, 17s, 18s, first team, whatever it is, if you look at a game from an aerial point of view, and even if they all had the same shirts on, you'll be able to tell which team's Brighton.
By the way they play.
Right? By the way they play. Right? Now, we don't go to schools or we don't go to young clubs and poach players who are big, strong, athletic or whatever. We look for other things. We look for technical pieces. We look for players that we can develop, because we know that when they're in our 15, 16, 17, 18s, plus they'd also get an opportunity to actually be to be in that first team. So that's built up from scratch, from the youngsters all the way through, potentially to their first team, right? Whoever they pluck out, it's not about changing everything again. They'll look, if they got rid of Potter, they brought De Zerbi in. The machine of the team, the structure, the formation, the football, the style, that's all maintained. And they promise to keep that going forward. And that's always what it's going to be. They have to sell a player. Guess what? They'll sell a player. They'll get £50 million for it. Fine, fabulous. But they've already got someone else who can come in and slot back into that place that player just vacated. And they have this plan. They have this vision of how they want to do it. And they're actually implementing that. How long's that taken? 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years?
Less. I think it's been less. It's probably been less. But do you know what?
The most key thing for me was, if you look down on two teams playing football, you'll be able to tell which one's Brighton, I guarantee you. That's fantastic to me.
I think Jimmy earlier on in one of the comments I read hit the nail on the head. Competent board, recruitment and vision on a footballing style. That's it. That's all it is, man.
Do you know what's interesting?
Very clear identity. Brighton. Now Brighton, you can honestly say there is a Brighton way. You know, we're talking about the Tottenham way. The Brighton way is very, very clear. And Potter started that course of action, and now De Zerbi is taking it.
It was before him, though.
Let me tell you.
But I'm saying Potter, De Zerbi, there's been a pattern there that there's a continuous part.
This started round about the same time Levy Enoch bought Tottenham. I was at university in Brighton I was there from 98 to 2004. And from 2000 onwards, Brighton got promoted from Division 4, Division 3, Division 2, Division 1, then down, then up. And every manager they brought in always kept it ticking. And just as I was leaving Brighton, they've just built they were beginning to build the Amex Stadium on the university grounds up at Falmouth. American Express headquarters is down there, so Amex sponsors Brighton. It's okay. And then they built the Amex Stadium in conjunction with the universities. Brighton had a plan. They had a long-term plan. They knew what they wanted and where they were going. And then Chris Barber became the chairman of the club. Chris Barber used to be number 2 to Daniel Levy at Spurs. So he's learned the Levy way, but what Chris has done is he's not done it the Levy football way. So the business way, he's gone down that road. But the football way, he's not embraced what Levy's done for a reason. So they've actually got a quality chairman. And I know people that are friends with Chris Barber. Apparently he's damn good. And he gets it. He gets it's about football and it's about the business. He's got the balance. So when Jimmy says competent board, he's right. They've got a competent chairman. But our fans think Levy's done a great job. And do you know what? I wanted to show, in fact, you've just reminded me. People that say look at what Levy's done for us and look at how Levy's progressed the club. I think you need to go and check your facts, right? From 1978 to 2000, 22 years before Enoch and Levy owned the club, our average league position was about 8th. We'd won 5 trophies, including plus 2 community shields. And our top 4 finishes were 5. 22 years afterwards, so the Enoch period, average league position is 6.4. So we've gone up by 1.8. So in 23 years of Enoch and Levy, we've gone up by almost 2 positions on average. Trophies, we're down by 4. And top 4 finishes, almost the same. So our average league position has moved by 1.8. Our trophies won has fallen by 80%. And our top 4 finishes remain the same. So other than Enoch building a new stadium, generating more money, making Spurs valued at £5 billion, what exactly have they done that has improved this football club? If you take away the shiny stadium that distracts us and the amazing training ground that has produced hardly any talent that's progressed into the first team, if you take away these shiny objects, trophies, down. League position, almost the same. Top 4 finishes, almost the same. What have they actually improved in 23 years?
The amount of revenue they're collecting in their pockets.
The only thing that's gone up is their wealth, the value of the business that they can sell for billions, the income they earn, the bonuses. That's the only thing that's really standing out. Everything else.
He did say it on day one, though, didn't he? We see football as a business. We see football as something that we can exploit and make lots of money from, and that's why we wanted to get into football.
Because I've been posting that to people who've been saying to me, "You don't appreciate where they've taken us. Look where we were in the 90s." I'm like, no. Judge their 23 years with the 23 years before. Let's be fair. Let's not just look at 7 or 8 years in the 90s, because they've been here for 23 years. And when you do that, the picture hasn't changed other than a really nice new stadium. That's it.
Here's another painful thing. Look at that.
Paul Barber, that's the guy I'm talking about. He should have been our chairman,
fan.
yeah. He is, yeah. He's top draw. I tell you what, if we had someone like that as chairman, it wouldn't be how it is now. Because, Paul Barber, the people that know him, who I'm friends with, they've all said to me he doesn't have an ego. Don't get me wrong. He's confident. He fancies himself to do the job, but it's not about him. With Levy, it always seems to be about him. Paul Barber doesn't want to be the manager. Levy kind of wants to be the manager.
All I will say is, because I'm not going to talk about Daniel Levy anymore because I'm done with him now. But my point is that I'm very concerned about next season. I'm done with it. I'm done with it still.
Alex, one thing I'll say, right, also is with Kane.
No, and I'm laughing because you always say it. That's why I'm laughing.
It's going to be Kane's last year, right?
Yeah.
If anyone offers us any amount of money for him, do you think Levy will take it?
I don't know. I've got no idea.
Rather than losing
JP.
him on a free the year after.
JP, I've got no guess what is going to happen. But all I will say is that everything. The thing that I love about the Tottenham fan base, and especially the top Tottenham fans, yeah, no one that I know basically, because no one I know personally, by the way, is that they go on these shows and they have to explain and try and make sense of everything that goes on in the club, and I just sit there and think,
we don't actually know.
What can you explain? It's nothing really makes sense at all. You know what I mean? And it's just like I said before. It's just when I'm always talking about the backside, the back office at Tottenham, rather than what's on the pitch. That's really a massive problem for me. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying I'm bored of it. You know what I mean? Because I should be more looking to see what is actually going with the club. You know what I mean? I'm just really
on
concerned.
the football side and the player side and stuff like that.
I'm just so
something
concerned.
that you want to talk about. Yeah,
guys,
no,
I'm just concerned.
That's fine. And I guess what my point was aiming towards literally was, personally, my view is that if we get a decent-ish offer for Kane, I would see Levy jumping at it, because otherwise, let's just say it's 70 million quid or like 80 million quid. I think he'll take that as opposed to not having that from Kane next season, right? Then we'll be big time screwed, I feel.
Well, listen, I agree with you, but it's just at the same time, I don't know what's going to happen with this club.
Yeah.
Like,
Alex, I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
We're going to put together some kind of footballing committee and give the illusion that we're going to put together a long-term plan. In that process, we're going to lose our top players, and we're going to try and do this combination of youth football and whatever half-decent players we sign. But what's going to happen is we will not stick by the manager long enough to see it out. Because when we finish 8th and 9th and 7th for 2-3 years in a row, Levy's going to shit himself. And we're going to be back here in 2-3 years' time. And we're all going to be in tears. And we're going to want to talk about the manager. And we're going to want to talk about the players. And we're going to not want to talk about Levy, even though the same things happened again. For me now, what's most interesting is the competition just got a whole lot harder than it's ever been with the rise of Newcastle, Arsenal being back, and they are back. I just feel now, with Chelsea making a move for Poch, we're in for 2 or 3 years of absolute pain. And I don't see us winning a damn thing, and I see us suffering in Europe. The best thing that could happen to Tottenham is to go into the Conference League and go all out for that, because that has got to be the easiest way to win a trophy, even though it's a joke trophy, and to get back into the Europa Cup. Because I think if we try and do it for the league route, I don't know, man. I do not have confidence, especially now that Poch and Nagelsmann for me were the two. They were the two who I would have said, okay, maybe. But forget it. We don't want them. We want a yes man. It's obvious. A yes man is not the answer.
Well,
I think they're scared. I think they're scared. Alex, I think they're scared after Mourinho and Conte weren't yes men. And it didn't work. So rather than trying to find the balance of like, do you know what? Let's go back to a Poch or a Nagelsmann. I think now they're going to hit the panic button and go to a right yes man. And a yes man is the worst thing out of the lot. I think that's where we're going to end up.
I think Mason's just a terrible candidate for me.
Disaster.
Right, absolute disaster. That's why I'm saying Graham Potter for me would be better for me with a director of football. But
he's another yes man. He's another yes man.
Well, listen, I don't agree with that. I think he'll give them what he needs to, because he understands the right way. It's just what we should be doing anyway. So. I just
what are you, Alex? I don't get it right. What are you basing that on? This Potter gets
I'm not basing it on it. I just think for me, if you're considering someone like Mason, okay, well, you might as well just go for Graham Potter then for me, because I think for Graham Potter, he knows how to start a project off. I think with a director of football
where's he done a project, Alex? Where's he done a project?
He did a project at Brighton, didn't he?
And he never got higher than 12. He never got higher than 12.
And then he started a project at Swansea as well. But my point is, I think for me,
Alex, didn't work.
I think for me, I think he's the right man to start this project off. Right?
Based on what? You're not answering.
Well, because he's done it. He's done it at lower clubs already, and
he failed.
Yeah, but regardless whether he failed or not, he's got the coaching experience to do it. I think for me, okay, and for me, I think
any manager with a badge has got the experience as long as they manage at a club.
I hear what.
Surely you'd rather have an Arne Slot, Alex, who's actually just won the league in Holland against Ajax, or surely you'd want someone like a De Zerbi if we could get him. I'm just trying to understand why you're going for Potter. Listen, the Australian Greek guy up at Celtic, he's better. Why would you not go for someone like that instead?
Listen.
Why Potter?
I'm just going on what I feel is the best. I think for me, and I just think for me, we're so down in the mud at the moment that I think really at the moment, I think for me, Graham Potter to save his reputation for me. And it's not PlayStation, bruv. It's not PlayStation, bruv. Honestly, if you think I play PlayStation, bruv,
no, he's making a joke, Alex.
No.
Joke.
Let me read it out. Bring It Big Boy says, I set my PlayStation password to Tottenham's defense. It said the password was weak. Very good.
Password. Get it, Alex?
He's got it now. He got it.
He made a joke.
Oh, it's all right, brother. I've had worse on the street.
Alex is too used to having to defend bullets.
So. Yeah, I'm too used to it, brother. I don't really care. But I was going to defend myself anyway. I don't need to do anything anyway. It's all playground
Guys,
to me.
I need to bounce.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, go. We're going to end it in a minute anyway, Liggy.
All right.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
All right, guys. Look, I'm going to wish you all good night. Alex, carry on in a sec. Big up everyone in the chat. Thanks for being up so late. Brilliant numbers tonight, guys. Smash that like as always. Blah blah blah. You know the rest. And I will see you in tomorrow morning's Good Morning Tottenham Away videos. Big up everyone. Big up panel. Big up chat. Good night to you all. God bless.
Yeah, Alex, go on, finish off what you're saying, man.
My point is that I just think he's okay. I think he'll be good. I think he'll be good, and that's it. I think you give it a chance. I think also, I mean, I know it didn't really work out at Leicester, but I think at the same time, I think they've got something to prove. That's the thing. They've got something to prove, these managers. And I think with the director of football, that is right for Tottenham, not somebody that wants to win at all costs. The Roman director of football. I think someone that has got a philosophy. I think it'll be good for Tottenham. Now, I'm just a shot in the dark, but at the moment we need to do something. You know, we need something different. And I think, you know, we need somebody with a philosophy that starts the process off again. Okay, and I think that's what we need to do at the moment. Now, whether that will happen, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Arnold Slot. I don't know enough about Arnold Slot. All I know is he won the championship in Holland. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I suppose with that is he's taken Feyenoord, who were like maybe a Tottenham.
In his first season as manager, he got more wins for that club in the top flight in the history of the club. He got more wins than ever before in top flight football. In his second season, he got them to the Conference League final, which he lost to Mourinho's Roma, and he won Manager of the Year in Holland ahead of Ten Hag. This season, he got them to the quarterfinals of Europa Cup, which again he lost to Mourinho's Roma. But he's also just won the Dutch league. So each year there's a progression with him as a manager within that league. And in Europe, he's progressed as well. So he's shown progression in Europe and he's shown progression in the Dutch league. Can he transfer that to the UK? I don't know. That's always the risk when you bring an overseas manager. But he's done better than Potter. That I will say, although he's never managed in the Premier League, which is the unknown, but nor Ten Hag. And Ten Hag's done pretty well.
listen, I think maybe we could take a risk as well. Yeah, we could do that, but I think at the end of the day, we need to have a focus of what we want what is our main goal, our main objective.
Top four,
and that's it.
Top four.
And, in the next few years, and that's it. But let me finish this. But my point is that I think we need to just figure that out, and that's it. Because I'm just tired. I'm tired still. I'm tired of it still.
I hear you, though. I hear
you. Know what I mean?
We all are.
I'm just literally tired of it still. Like I'm only on here for Netflix and chill. You know what I mean? Because I just think I just don't see what is going on at the moment. I don't see what I can get excited about or try and see this and try and be open minded. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be stupid. If you think to be open minded when you've not seen what's happened the last how many years now, you really are silly if you think that. You know what I mean? You just have to really just let just have a one eye open with them. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be like that next season as well. Because I've got no belief in this ownership to make the right decisions, and that's it really. But my main problem at the moment is the football. The football is just absolutely awful. I've completely utterly switched off, and I just want my Tottenham back now. You know what I mean? I want to see some nice football. I want a squad that is actually coherent, that's got chemistry, together, and
Alex,
do what some of these.
Do you agree? Do you agree for a squad to have chemistry and to be coherent, the manager's got to be there for at least 3 years and not just 18 months?
I think in theory yes, but I think that, like I said, this is why I say the director of football is really, really important. You can keep it growing with different coaches if you have the director of football making sure you got the right sort of coaches in charge of the club, and that's it. That's why I think Rangnick would be perfect for Tottenham. But obviously,
but if you're sacking, but just to jump on that, but if you're sacking the manager every 18 months, then the director of football isn't hiring the right managers then. Because otherwise,
but I'm just saying that because if they do make progress over time, and they end up going somewhere because they find a better job maybe somewhere as well, it's for the director of football to have a plan in place if that happens, and have somebody else who's in place to try and keep it going. You know what I mean? Like
piece of the jigsaw. It's like piece of the jigsaw, isn't it?
Like,
that manager
Brighton
goes out, someone else will come in and carry on the good work that's been started already.
Exactly, because Brighton approved it, JP. Brighton have proved it, JP. I'm sorry, JP, because you're a good friend of mine. Yeah, I'm not interrupting you by on purpose. Sorry if I am.
No,
Sorry about it. But
don't worry.
my point is that I just want to see a plan, Stelios. I'm bored of this. You know what I mean? I'm
But we
not
had
gonna.
a plan.
I am
We
not.
had a
I am.
plan, but
I will. I will.
we ended the plan as soon as the going got tough. You see, and this is what I've been saying to people. Listen, we've bantered Arsenal tonight. We know they're bottle jobs, but we're bottle jobs as well. That's why the show
Yeah,
was
100%.
North London bottle jobs, right? Arsenal finished 8th 2 years in a row and then bottled top 4 in the third year. Is Levy going to tolerate that? And this is where I'm saying no. Are our fans going to tolerate finishing 8th, bottling top 4 when we're not told what the plan is? When this club doesn't communicate with us?
That's a problem, isn't it? But that's the thing. But I've got no idea still. I absolutely honestly, I've got no idea. Right? I am fed up with this club now because I want them to just man up and play some good football now and start getting some people in that know how to play football as well. Like, because I'm bored of moaning about the same things. You know what I mean? It's boring
It
for the
is pretty
audience
much
and
rinse
it's
and
boring
repeat.
for everybody else as well. You know what I mean? And we're a laughing stock of the Premier League. Yeah, that embarrassment of Southampton was all over the worldwide. Yeah, and all those players were out there looking embarrassing. Yeah, the Tottenham Hotspur name was embarrassed that day. Yeah, that week we were getting rinsed to pieces. You know what I mean? So it's like we need to stop this now. You know, and that's
Listen,
it.
let's bring it to an end there. We'll go around and just let everyone have their final say. JP's anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
Only that we'll be there making noise on Saturday. And if anyone is there and they are disgruntled, just come and stand across the road with us. Come and speak. Come and say hello. But kind of show your frustrations by just stepping across the other side of the road. You don't even have to talk to us. Just come and stand there. Just to show that we need to show him up there that, do you know what he's serving us up ain't good. And like like Alex said, I think everyone's just bored of the way we are, the way we're feeling, the way we're playing football, and it's just not moving forward. And unless we tell the person who's in charge that that's how we feel, he'll just carry on. Because at the moment he's making money, people are coming in, filling the seats, people are drinking beer, people are buying beers, people are buying food. Joe's happy getting his dividend check every quarter. All's rosy on his side. Like, he just sees, okay, well, no one's grumbling about it, so it must be doing a good job.
Yep. Just a couple of super chats I've missed actually. A user again, big up. Thank you for all your super chats tonight. A user, Levy is had. Clubs will wait to take Kane on a free. God help us if that's true, buddy. And awesome. All thank you, my man. Big up to you. This club is gone dead. You need $1 billion to fix it. It is no longer a football club. It is an entertainment company. Don't waste your money or time. We agree, buddy. We agree. Lee.
I think everyone just needs to realise that this weekend is the last chance to get your voice heard, especially inside the stadium. If we go down, I don't know, 2-0 to Brentford at half time or something like that, people have got to start making themselves heard, basically, because it's the last chance we're going to get. Because if we don't, then come the summer, Levy's going to think everything's rosy, do what he usually does. We'll get a manager on, the last 2 hours of the transfer window, and we've got no players in, and we've got a bunch of arseholes that don't want to play for the manager again. So,
Alex is saying it's already day 51, isn't it? So
it might be day 151 by then. And also, just thinking about this Kane situation, I wouldn't be surprised if Kane stays. And the reason I say that is because if he's on a free, then he's got more weight for his wages because the people don't have to pay the transfer fee. Therefore, he can request whatever he fucking likes as long as it's within their budget. It's better value for him.
If Chelsea come in, they'll pay him the wages he wants. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they've still got to consider their how much they've been spending, right? The fair play rules. They can't just go and spend willy-nilly. They've spent enough as it is. Well, to an extent, I'm sure there's ways they've got out of that.
Just want to say a big thank you to all the super chats tonight. Dietrich Kane, big up to you. Big up to Mason Lerman. Awesome. Dietrich Kane again, big up. Language Angels, thank you. Phil P, big up to you. A user with a number of super chats. Thank you so much, A user. Soundboy, big up. Bring it, big boy, and awesome. Or everyone in the chat and in the comments tonight, big up to all of you as well. Also, this show was North London Bottle Jobs, so it only makes it right that we finish it with a couple of reminders. You bottle jobs, Arsenal. Absolute bottle jobs. And to you, Tottenham Hotspur, yeah. Blunts, punts, stunts, and you know the rest. Bottle jobs, Tottenham Hotspur. Absolute bottle job, Tottenham Hotspur. We're out of here, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everyone.
You can check out the links to Alex's channel in the description. I've put it in there. Make sure you subscribe and follow Alex THFC, Mr. Box Office TV. Subscribe and like to our channel. You can find Lee at Enigma27 on Twitter. Make sure you check out Lee. Our next show will be on Wednesday, our fan show. Friday, we've got our Friday Night Live show. Saturday, we've got our watch along for the Brentford game. Will Stewart will go live afterwards for the post-match reaction show. Mari's doing a show at some point as well. We've got loads of shows this week, and Iggy in the morning. Check it all out. It's all on the channel. Otherwise, guys,
hit that
North
like
London
before you leave. If you haven't done it already, hit that.
And
like.
if you don't know, you get to know.
Exactly.
Hey man, he's stealing my thunder, Bob. He's stealing my thunder, Bob. He's stealing my thunder.
Posh version. It's a posh version.
Yeah, good.
Now do it for real, Alex.
Do it for Alex, and I'll end it.
Come on, Alex. I haven't heard it in
Bob,
ages.
Like I say every
Alex,
single time, Bob.
Alex, come on, man. Bant me. Come on.
Banter you?
You fucking comments are shit. Your opinion's bollocks. Come on. I'm just trying to roll you up. Get you in the mood. Get you in the mood. We've lost him, boys. We've lost him.
Lee. You know what, Bob? I've been broken too much, man, by Tottenham, man, right now.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Maybe I need some soca music, Bob, man. Hopefully I'll be sorted over Friday. You know what I mean? Friday night. You know what I mean? It's Monday night too much, yeah, Bob. But I will say this. The people that say that Mr. Box Office is going anywhere, he's still going to be here every single time. You know what I mean? Because if you don't know, get to know. Because Mr. Box Office is here every single time, and he's on the road to thousands of subscribers, as I said, every single time as well. Back to you, still. I'm done.
And we're out of here. Catch you later. Big up.
Cheers, guys.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.